last week. So who wants to recap the situations that have occurred last week?
I'll do it.
Excellent.
Let me pull up my notes. One
What
moment.
else would you
Word
need
is starting.
last week?
I really think Skippy should be doing it, but he's not mic'd up right now.
Well, so we were sitting in a tavern and deciding what to do next, as we all sort of had a round of drinks, and we decided to wait for our good friends Mara and Malik, and they are Malakim.
Malakim. Yes.
Malakim. They arrived, and we introduced them to their new temporary ward, Sarah, who they seemed kind of concerned for, but we don't really know why. But later they gave her a pep talk, and she was excited about it. Then we went over, and Skippy set up his tower and rushed off to prepare some series of events that we didn't know. Dustin challenged Malik to a fist fight and got his ass beat, but that's okay. And then Skippy launched into a series of courtship rituals, shall we call them? And my note says Skippy is furiously trying to impress Mara, and I think he did. I think he did a great job.
He did.
People got very drunk. People got Skippy got drank with Leaf, and we've yet to see the repercussions of that. I don't think.
Yes, it's to be noted. People have been trying to keep alcohol out of Skippy's reach, like practically this entire campaign, and then Leaf goes and destroys it all and gets him rip roaring drunk to
Yep.
to to help his feelings of rejection.
You're welcome.
And Leaf was very heavy-handed in that. And then Xanroar doesn't like fun, and we learned that he doesn't like fun, and we learned a little bit about Mara and her who they worship and her role in that. And then I think that was it.
Pretty much, it was a really awkward dance dinner party. Essentially, is what happened. So morning rolls around and um you whoever stumbles down will notice immediately that there is a familiar cabinet wedged into not I guess it's a corner. This is a square tower. The corner of one of the bottom room with a familiar so and so perched on top of it, sitting cross-legged, leaning back, head against the wall, eyes closed.
I think Xanroar would probably be one of the first up, considering he didn't really drink last night. Just kind of sigh, shovel a little bit to wake him up. Expected you here last night. You're late.
Raises a brow and like an eyeball open, one solid black eyeball peeks open. And he's like, "Well, tough shit. I can't calculate time." And he just smiles
also-
and like offers a like hand to shake. Good morning.
Xanroar kind of breaks out a grin. And you don't understand 25-word limits. But shakes anyway. We're good to see you. Where's Elzorna?
And he gestures to the door that had been left open. And it's like, why does it smell like booze and sadness in here?
Take a seat. It's a long story. And Zen will fill him in on what's happened since they last met up and go into detail of the events of the last evening.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So that all happened.
Mara let him off nicely, right?
He just kind of shrugs. As far as I know, as soon as I had my meal, I left. But it was pretty painful to watch, from what I did see.
And Iggy's just he kind of looks like contemplative about that, but then he shrugs. Um, well, at least you all made it here okay, and I'm sure my brother and sister are fine. Elzorn is around. He gets kind of antsy when we're too close to town.
Civilization.
Yes.
Totally fair. Oh, but I did have something I did want to show you, and he's gonna reach into his bag and pull out the more finished arcane formula for the Iron Man armor enchantment. He's gonna scroll it out in front of him. Had some help with this.
So he hops off his cabinet and comes and perches himself in front of the scroll, and he's looking over the drawings and some of the calculations, and he kind of pauses like on certain areas, like the areas like you had gotten help on. And you could tell like the way his like eyebrow raises a bit, and you could tell like he recognizes something about it. But then he'll like stand up straighter. He's like, "This looks very fun."
Do you want a copy?
He kind of like gives him a look like, "You'd give me a copy?"
He just kind of shrugs. Knowledge like this is to be shared. Definitely help a lot of people once it's done. At least that's the plan.
Then once it's done, absolutely.
I was also thinking on something else, and he's going to pull out another piece of parchment and start scribbling some stuff of the item that I had mentioned to you before. And he's going to try and get his opinion on it.
And he looks at it, and he picks up the page. He like turns it sideways, and then he turns it upside down. And he's just looking at it, and then he like looks over at Xanroar and like looks him up and down. He's like, "You can carry this." I'm not sure how many other people could carry this.
He just kind of flexes a little bit with some pride. It's not exactly meant for everyone, but for those who will need it, it will definitely be useful.
And intimidating. And he'll like hand it back.
Indeed.
So what is everyone else doing with their morning? So there were
If Xanroar was the first one up, Temperance would have kind of filled him in after he did his thing. Would have filled him in on the escapades of the evening.
and Iggy is just going to be looking at Temperance really closely. Not like all up on her, but like he's definitely like Temperance hadn't met him. He's darker skinned like Malik, black hair, solid black eyes. Just looking at him, you could tell like they're related. But like there are like between the three of them, there are very obvious differences. Like one's blue, one has cat eyes, one has like solid black eyes. It's really odd. But it's really hard to tell with him where exactly in a room he's looking because his eyes are solid and you can't tell where his pupils are. But you do get the feeling that he's watching you, Temperance.
Okay. She's. I feel like she would be the kind of person that would be very in her own head, like, and
Mhm.
not terribly, while aware of her surroundings. She probably feels she's being stared at, but it's inconsequential to her right now. She's focused. So she would kind of like look at him and kind of like make a weird
He'll
anyway.
smile and then give like a little wave where it's like just his wrists moving back and forth. Hello.
Anyways, Xanroar. Last night, I probably not my best decision made, but I really wanted to get a closer look at the home where we're, potentially going to be applying for bodyguard work. I just kind of wanted to see what we were getting into, and uh, a thing happened. So I
Eyebrow
did find out.
raised.
I
A
did
worse
find out.
thing than what happened last night here.
Well, very different. But I suppose we'll find the details out of exactly what happened. And she looks around at what I guess is probably like a destroyed room, or most of the area in the place is somewhat destroyed. And she's like, I'm sure we'll find out the details of all of this once everybody starts to wake up. But I did some digging, and the bodyguard position is actually for the son of that family that petitioned or purchased the key, I should say, off of those two rough types that were in the bar. The bodyguard position is for the son, and apparently the previous bodyguard for the son got sick and died very recently. And she'll also relay that how we've seen people trickle into the town, and just say a lot of those people, it looks like we're going to have some competition for this position also, so we best be sobered up and on our best our best march on it. But when I went to go kind of inspect their home, I was actually spotted by some of their guard scorpions.
Guard
And she'll kind of
scorpion.
pause. Yes. Usually I'm used to some kind of guards and whatnot, but this time I don't know, maybe somebody slipped me some of their drink and I just wasn't as stealthy as I usually am, and I was spotted, unfortunately, and luckily they don't fly, so I was able to get away pretty quickly. I don't believe that anybody saw me other than them, but they are guarded around their home. And it's very warm out there. They've got a lot of sand around the whole of their home. The home itself looks like a similar construction to the homes that we've seen in town, but they've got like a desert in front of their house almost. It's very strange. I mean, I'm sure the scorpions loved it, and perhaps it's their own little sand place. That may be the reason, but it's definitely starting to seem like this family is very out of place. And that's about all she was able to pick up.
That
Sorry about
does
that.
sound quite weird. But I don't really know much about this land myself, so
I mean, same here. I mean, I'm just discovering as much as you, but neither of us, well, unless you've seen it while I've been in, and she'll like hit the statue at her side, unless you've seen it while I've been, out of commission, I haven't seen much sand at all since I've dropped down, and I don't know. I just thought I'd bring you aware of the situation. I'm not sure the state that we're going to find the rest of our group in once they wake up, but something tells me that their brains will not be quite as receptive to holding information as their bodies were for alcohol the previous night.
Very, very fair, and I appreciate it. We should probably. I'm gonna actually look over to Iggy. Do you know much about people who come from sandy places around here?
He shrugs. I guess it depends on the people. People tend to be various depend wherever you go.
Well, that's fair.
I know there are 3 cities up there. If they're from the north.
That's what we've heard so far.
There are 3 cities, and she'll just, without introduction, like, oh, there's information, insert herself in the conversation, be like, there's 3 cities that are, like, desert-like conditions. And she'll whip out her pen and paper.
Well, there's a whole desert to the north of here, and there are 3 cities up there.
This sounds too hot. Oh, by the way, Temperance, this is Iggy, Temperance.
Hi!
Hello. What are the names of the desert? What are the names of the towns? Are they cities? Are they large cities? Small towns?
They're
Nice to meet you. Information first, introductions are secondary, thirdary, just not important.
from what I know, they are 3 separate cities. There's no actual kingdom. They're kind of on the... if I'm remembering the map correctly, they're on the outsides of the city, of the desert, not really on the inside. There's... Let me see. I'm gonna roll to see if he remembers the city names. Real quickly. Where's my die? There it is. Nope! He does not recall the city names, but what he will remember is that, and he talks a lot with his hands. Mara does a little bit, but he's very like Italian about the way he speaks with his hands.
Well put.
And he's kind of just like pointing in the air, being like there are mountains, and then there's big desert in the middle, and then he kind of points almost in like a triangle shape. There are cities on the outsides, and then there's a big storm in the middle.
A big storm?
Yeah. It's kind of cool. It never goes away.
She's like furiously writing in her notebook, and she looks up, a big storm that never goes. What do you mean a big storm that never goes away? Like the weather is just always kind of rainy, or
In a desert, I don't think so. I'm thinking more sandstormy.
Oh.
And he kind of like wiggles his fingers.
Have you traveled through here before? Is it passable from what you've heard?
And he kind of like goes like he's gonna talk, and then stops, and then shrugs. It's... Well, they got here.
So this is the 3 areas that you're talking about are all located in this center to the north. That's the only desert area you know of in between the 2 mountains.
He kind of like cocks his head, and not... It's the only desert on this island.
All right. Well, thank you for the information. If you happen to remember the name, I'll be probably right near your friend here, and points at the pipe smoking Xanroar. I'll be around. Appreciate
He's just
the information.
Amused. When she's done, he's just going to go back to going over the new diagram with Iggy.
So what's Ara up to? She awake? In
She-
leaf?
She's probably walking at this point, being like, "It's times like this where I wish I could sleep, but I can't. But I envy you all.
Hi, Ara.
Hello. Oh, you're here. You're late, I think. Right? You're supposed to be here last night. What?
Uncomfortable friend. Wolves. Town.
He's
That's fine.
outside.
Where's breakfast? Is he not awake yet? Oh, this is a travesty.
Yeah, Leaf will start coming down the stairs. She'll finally be awake. Be like, don't worry, I'll make breakfast.
Well, I'm going to go into the other room now. I don't really feel like smelling burnt meat.
Hey, this is gonna be great. I have learned so much already from like the 2 days I have been in this teaching thing. I don't know. I am gonna make up something excellent. Don't you worry.
He picks up his stuff and heads off to the room that was the dance party room, and he's going to rearrange it back to the forge, and he's going to start doing his channel divinity to make that item. Athy.
Okay.
Just kind of look towards Ziggy. And how was your journey from? You were coming from the capital?
We were in the forest with you. And then
Right,
we
but
came.
oh yeah, you're right. I'm sorry, I'm mixing you two up.
That's a first.
Listen, it was a long night last night. I just need a minute. How was your journey from not the capital?
Really, really boring.
You didn't pick up a rescue along the way like we did.
Is that what's going on?
Oh yes, well, sort of. We were on our mission, and we picked up a runaway, if you will.
Where I'm from, when you're picking up somebody that needs to go from one place to another for their own safety, we call them refugees.
It's an odd way to frame yourself, but whatever helps you sleep at night.
He shrugs. It works. And he kind of looks around at the mess and I heard you guys had an eventful evening. And he kind of waggles his eyebrows.
Some of us did. Our bird friend had quite the night planned, and the revelries were had.
Hey, everyone had a good time, and you know it.
So,
Yes, that's what revelry means. Good time.
weren't there Constitution
I knew
saves
that.
rolled last week?
There
Yes.
were?
Yup.
Leaf is fine.
Leaf is 100% fine.
Skippy, is
Ours-
it?
Ara rolled a 3, so she is suffering.
Did Dustin roll?
Dustin didn't drink.
Oh yeah. Dustin's good. So what's
Mhm.
Dustin doing?
Dustin got up, hearing Leaf talk about cooking,
Just,
and
just like, oh no, stands up.
Oh yes.
basically, but
Yeah,
instead
she's
of
back.
going there, he like runs over it, like stops for a second, goes, "Ugh," and then runs to where Skippy and Leaf are and make sure they're fine. Make sure whether they're asleep or awake, if they're not hungover to shit. Run back
Leaf
over
is
it.
already downstairs trying to cook.
Trying. She is super succeeding.
Dustin is
So
leg-
roll a cook. Do you have cooking utensils? Well, are they provided? I forget if they're provided.
So the kitchen is
Yes.
fully
So
equipped.
you have cooking utensils, so I need you to roll. What? How is she? How is she like going about this? Is she?
Really stabby, I'm sure.
Oh my god.
So maybe we could do a dexterity, just like a straight dexterity roll, because you have no proficiency in this, unless you could argue something else.
I can't. So absolutely.
This is your ability to use these cooking utensils.
Dustin is going to surfboard downstairs
On what?
himself because he's so
Wait.
scared he wants to go fast.
How does that work?
He's going to jump off the first step and just skyrocket down the stairs heading towards Leaf. Sorry, let Leaf do what she's going to do. Let Leaf do what she's going to do, then we'll decide whatever this is.
Yes. Let's see if he can rescue. Well, whatever you walk into, it's an event. It's what it is.
It's not pretty. One day Leaf will be a master chef. One day.
Yeah, she just spent 5 minutes stabbing food, and she's like, perfect.
Just stabbing like
Done it.
eggs. Like
Leaf.
Scrambled.
You put the oil before the eggs, Leaf, not God. And she's gonna walk over, like just like, all right, and just gonna try to help her guide her through it, and like try to take over in some parts.
You weren't awake. Ara was hungry. I have to feed her. I am
know.
a hero. I need to help others, and she was hungry, and she's like fucking hungover for some reason. Sorry, she's like hungover for some reason. I don't know what's going on with her.
So
And
Dustin,
I'm so proud of you. But yes,
Thank you.
because you're trying to salvage this, make a cooking roll.
What would that be?
What would he be thinking through this? Like, is he
He'd
using?
be thinking how to swerve this away from being poisonous.
It's not poisonous. There's just like eggshells everywhere, and she has actually only used a knife for all her
Okay,
utensils.
roll a cooking roll using wisdom to see
Oh, God.
to see if you can figure out how to fix what's been broken.
I thought you had more wisdom, Dustin. God, come on.
If you could try to be a hero a little more quiet as well, that would be wonderful.
It's slightly better. It won't kill anybody, but dirt might taste better.
Dustin is gonna eat and just have like the anime like purple like forehead and just like holding his hand to his head.
Do you feel comfortable serving this to everybody?
No, not at all.
My feelings are slightly hurt.
I'm gonna take my food. Sorry, Leaf. I'm gonna go out and feed to Shelby.
Shelby has to make a constitution save.
Oh God. Oh well.
So, breakfast might take a little while longer.
Dustin's gonna look for the sweet rolls that were there yesterday and hope Skippy comes down soon.
Mara and Malik will make their way down, and Mara's just gonna like she's sleepy. Like, she's clearly not very much a morning person. But she kind of like brightens a bit when she sees Iggy and wanders over and just flops against his side. Iggy. And she flops against him. Malik, on the other hand, is like bright and clear-eyed and everything's well. Good morning.
Hello.
I was gonna say, is anybody gonna say hi to this?
Good morning. How are you all? Oh, hello, Iggy. I'm sorry I didn't see you there.
Something smells funny. Iggy's just like, they can't cook.
I'm gonna go sing my head back into the river. Please excuse me. And Dustin's gonna walk outside.
So, Skippy,
Hello!
are you alive yet?
I am alive. I had to go fix my roof.
Excuse me?
Yes. So there's a big rainstorm coming on Tuesday, or supposedly, and there was a lot of water getting in over the past couple. So I went up there with some like rubber spray and like plugged up what I thought would be a couple
Flexi.
small holes. And it turned out to be one just big gash in my ceiling. So temporary fix, duct tape, and rubber sealant.
I thought you were talking about the birdhouse at first, and I was like, you did that while hungover? Okay.
Skippy's a productive hungover.
Hungover little boy.
Did Skippy make his check?
I did. I got
Going-
10.
He got a 10. He's not like Ara's got like the full body aches, dehydration, headache thing, but Skippy wakes up and he has a rather uncomfortable headache. But you could be worse.
Yeah, so Skippy is gonna wake up to the smell of whatever Leaf just made.
Yeah,
And be
nothing
like,
good.
and just like go out to the balcony and be like, oh my god, why does my head hurt? And he's probably just going to go back into his tower, into like the room with all the maps and all that, and like close and curtain off all the windows, and just like light a candle and start reading his new book.
With a headache in the light of a singular candle.
Yeah, you gotta be dark.
Life choices, yes.
And yeah, so I'm gonna start like trying to understand what's in this conjurational magic book.
Roll an intelligence check at disadvantage.
Okay. Wait, where is it? Oh, it's just yeah.
Straight intelligence at disadvantage. 13. You're following along, but you do like occasionally like your mind starts like drifting off, and you could read it, you could get it in your head, but like it's not really retaining at the moment. You think maybe some water would help. From what you've heard.
Okay. Yeah, Skippy will fly out of the tower. How deep is this river?
Fairly. Like, it's pretty deep in the middle. Like, deep enough for, like, logs to go down it.
But like at the bank, would it be like small enough for Skippy to take a bird bath?
There are spots that he could land in and not be in danger.
Yeah, so Skippy will go in the river and like start taking a legit just bird bath and drinking some water and all that.
Ooh. So morning ticks by. If no one else does, Morrow will step up and attempt to make a breakfast with whatever is left over.
I thought Dustin said he was gonna do that, but he also
he also left, and
bailed,
it's also
so
he also went at the river. Skippy and Dustin, while you're outside, Skippy definitely, because you are flying, you can spot two familiar large wolves over near the edge of the forest over there. They're there for a second and then they're not. Dustin, you see them, like they stand still long enough to look at you before heading further into the woods again, like when you come out.
Skippy would probably. Is this like pre or post bath?
While you're flying, probably back towards
Skippy would probably get distracted seeing familiar wolves, because believe it or not, Skippy does not know many friendly wolves. So he would probably get distracted and immediately like turn and fly towards it.
So you fly out there, and how far in do you go?
I would probably go to the edge and be like, Elzora? And then like just kind of like hop along further in, kind of not really like thinking about, man, I probably don't know how to get out of here, or there's probably giant snakes. Thinking, oh, my friend's here.
I'm gonna do a quick roll. Okay, so when you say Elzorna's name, further in, like after you hop a little bit and you're passing trees, you don't really see the wolves, but there is, being a bird, you would, it would be familiar to you because some of the architecture and like the stuff where you came from, a lot of it's built in trees, because birds. And there's a knothole in the tree that is not super big. It is probably reminiscent of the size of hole that was in that, where you went in down into where like the elven hidden conclave was, that needed to be made bigger, but you were able to fit through.
Mm-hmm.
You see Elzorna emerge from that hole, but the way he does it, it seems like he is literally like contorting himself into the smallest of shapes his full-size body can be to get through that hole. Very dexterous, very limber as he comes out onto the branch and peers down at you.
Skippy's gonna be like, oh, hello! And then like flap up to him, and then like so like the last time that we saw each other, I think our last interaction was like putting our foreheads together. So Skippy's gonna walk up and like lean his forehead forward.
And he'll do the same. He'll lean down and just sort of like it's like a gentle like thump, head bump.
And with that, Skippy's gonna like fluff up all his feathers and be like, "Oh my gosh, I have so much to tell you about," and be like recapping the story, just like sitting on the branch, recapping the story of the past few days.
And he will contentedly sit quietly and listen. Like the fur and mask that he usually wears is still stuffed in the tree. But is that everybody? So that might take you a while. So breakfast does happen eventually, regardless of who makes it, and Skippy doesn't come back from, like, did it? Nobody really would have known he left, right? You kind of went out the.
Yeah, so I went out the balcony.
So yeah, Skippy's missing.
Dustin did go to put his head in the river. Could he have possibly seen Skippy?
Depends on when. That's up to Skippy. I'll leave that up to you. If you think timelines.
I mean, from how it sounded, I didn't think you came back, so you probably would have been out there and saw me fly off.
I just stuck my head out, just saw you fly away. He's like, he's fine. He doesn't look, he's flying weirdly, so he sticks his head back in the river.
Okay. So, what are your plans for the day?
Dustin will walk back in. He's like, Temperance, I heard something, maybe not, I don't know, about intel?
Yeah, Temperance, like, once everybody's had some coffee and some breakfast and seems receptible to information, she'll relay the same information she told Xanroar. But she will kind of keep the information from Iggy to herself, just because that wasn't terribly articulated well. Like, it was just 2 lumps with dirt in the center, and it's a storm always. So she's like gonna do some more research on her own if she can before she gives them that info. But you guys essentially know that the Temperance did some digging. The bodyguard job is for the son of the family, and then she kind of, while you guys were having a dance party drunk night, she went stealthing not so well to check the outside and was spotted by some guard scorpions and noticed that they have like sand all around their building. Even though the building looks normal, they have sand and scorpions guarding it.
That sounds amazing and
It's the
terrifying.
sand is mostly in the front, like, courtyard, and that it looks like, if you think like almost like an old Persian garden, like there are really like plant life that you'd never seen before, lots of mosaic tiles like in walkways,
Did it like end very sharply?
Yes, like it's the whole area was warmer, even like outside of that desert quote unquote area in the front of the house. Like the heat still radiated out, like the whole area is a lot warmer than it was, because the way I described it was, you're getting near the end of summer, night times are getting cool. The daytime is still pretty warm, but for the nighttime, like when you were flying in towards it, there was a very drastic difference in temperature getting close to it, kind of like that desert area was like radiating heat out. But
like imperceptible during the day, really.
Yeah,
but at night.
currently at the moment, but at night you definitely notice that. And yes, very large scorpions wandering the grounds.
You think we can befriend these scorpions?
It was Temperance will just look confused at the question. Just I doubt it. I mean, I was able to outfly them, but they didn't seem to want to make friends. They wanted to eat and digest most of my innards.
But you didn't have a leaf with you at the time, did you?
No, that's true.
I didn't. You all seemed a bit preoccupied. Are you feeling
That's
better,
fair.
all of you?
Excellent. I'm feeling excellent. Honestly, I could go for another drink right now.
Well, I think we have our application or something soon, yes?
What is our plan going forward?
Well, I don't know, like, out of character, I'm not sure exactly when the flyer said.
Starting today, and then the next 3 days, I believe. 4 days. It's
like a trial.
Yeah, it's just giving people time to get here. Like they'll see people within that time frame, and then they'll make a decision the day after that time frame's up.
Can
Okay.
I ask a couple questions really quick to the DM? What time yesterday about did we get here and set up?
It was like 3 o'clock from what I recall.
3. What time is it now?
Morning.
Okay.
Uh,
Because if Skippy
nebulous
does not,
morning, I'm gonna say probably like 9, 10 o'clock, because I'm sure most of you drunkards slept in a tad. But
okay, because if Skippy does not extend the life of the tower, everybody inside will kind of
yeah,
just pop
you
outside.
definitely have like some hours left, because you did that
Okay.
like afternoonish.
All right.
Are we gonna go undercover as these bodyguards, or are we gonna like just go straight in, Chercocking it, or? I mean, I can go get all dressed up in black, but I need to know what we're gonna. What are we looking for? What are we gonna do?
Yes, I was wondering that as well. I thought these people had the key to the tower that we're searching for. So, what purpose are we trying to make a deal for that key by being their bodyguard?
Well, I mean, the bodyguard position will get us as close as possible to the key, and that's really my goal, is to get as close as possible, find out what. I mean, yeah, ultimately, I would love to have the key. That's our whole goal, but information about why they want it, what they plan on doing with it, why they're here in general. I mean, as far as Temperance is concerned, like out of character, like this is a whole big like hotspot of she wanna be there, find out more info, because they're appearing extra weird and interesting to her. Not being from here, all that stuff.
For quick, before we continue this conversation, I don't mind. Malik and Iggy, are you guys gonna stay here for a little while? We have to host you. We're gonna be start doing some missions soon. I'm not sure what's your plans. If we can accommodate in any way.
Malik will perk up and be like, I think it's safest that we continue heading on to Mnemoneris, especially if we're relocating somebody.
All right. Are you gonna do that right? Not like right now, but like today, or are you gonna do that sometime soon?
The three kind of look at each other, and they don't speak, but they seem to like know. And Malik's like, we'll probably leave later today.
All right, cool. If you do need anything, please let us know. We'll be happy to provide. Do you have any possible ideas for this, or how we can get closer?
Sounds like we have to win the competition, and she'll also relay that, like, I don't know if you've noticed, but the town has been slowly trickling in what look to be a lot of outsiders. I'm guessing that they're here to apply for the position. So our competition might be kind of stiff for this.
Do we want all of us to go in on this, or only certain people and have other people watch from behind?
Yeah, I mean, they're only looking for one person, right?
Yes.
Okay.
If
Yeah.
my first thought would probably maybe be Xanroar.
Well,
So I
I
was looking
mean,
kind of surprised at this. Are you
well, it makes sense
kidding
to
me?
me. He does look the bodyguard type, but I figured if we could all brush up and try and add something different, I mean, more applications the better. It increases our odds, math and all that.
That's true. I mean, if we
What?
do, oh sorry, Xanroar after you.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I would really be the best fit for a bodyguard, especially to some freaking nobles. But honestly, shouldn't Temperance really do this? She seems much better at getting information out of others, and I don't exactly do the whole sneaking thing.
It's all about playing a part. I mean, Xanroar, if you were to get the position, I mean, Dustin does have a point that you are more likely to look the role. You wouldn't necessarily have to, do the sneaking thing or kiss up to the just think of it as doing a job, but you will be an in for, you know, getting me past the scorpions one evening or helping any one of us get in there and get more information.
He just kind of sits back and just kind of shakes his head.
That's her best attempt to flatter
If
Xanroar.
not, I'm really good at playing dumb.
That you are.
I'm going to say this right now. I do not like nobles, and I cannot hold my tongue around them, to be completely honest.
It's very fair. And if you don't want to do it, I'm not going to force you to do it.
Yeah, I'm more likely to beat the brat down than to protect his ass.
Fair. I mean, we have to decide who's going to go in or who's going to attempt for it. I know all of us are probably going to try for it, but who do we feel is most best fit for the role other than Xanroar at this current moment?
I mean, it doesn't really matter who's the best fit. It matters who they want to choose, who they think is the best bodyguard. So this is our best lead. This is our best step forward on our ultimate goal, which is finding the tower. I feel like we've kind of lost the way as far as that goes. It remains my number one goal, aside from delinking myself from this stupid statue. I don't know that I can say the same. And she's just kind of like feeling confused.
We'll follow along the best we can. We haven't really been derailed. We've followed all the leads that we've gotten, and that's what's led us here.
Just as a possible suggestion, I don't know if we should all go in all at once. Because I feel like if a group, all of us, comes up, it'll look more suspicious. I don't know. No, that's just my first thought.
From the flyer, do we know anything about how this process is going to go? Sorry. Go ahead.
Pretty much what the flyer is vague-ish. It pretty much says like the evaluations will run from, which is today, for 3 days, and then the decision of who they choose is going to be announced after that 3 days. There's no like details.
There's no details on what the actual, like, it happens today, and then 3 days from now
just like what it is. Yeah, there's no like on the flyer. There's no details about it.
Okay.
Of how it's gonna run.
So she'll relay that information as best she can. Whatever, you know.
All right. Are we gonna be looking spiff and spanny, or? Just gonna go in our clothes, which I don't know is a good idea for me.
Has Ara had any bodyguard work? Like, this seemed like the not killing people outright is the bodyguard's job, but Ara seems the most dangerous of the group. Have
Yes,
you had any experience for this position?
I've been thinking. Sorry, I was just trying to rationalize some things in my head. Yes, I have. And well, we're a bit far from my home, so I'm not sure my name would carry any weight around here. But I do have some experience in this field, but you know, the big man over here certainly looks the part more than I do. But I was also wondering, if they're paying for a bodyguard, what are they seeking protection from?
You can always ask that once we get the job.
From
Yeah,
Skippy.
I don't have that information, but I do know that the previous bodyguard of the Sun died under. I mean, out of character, Athy, would it be suspicious or just very sudden?
From what you know, it was very sudden. You could make whatever conclusions you want to from there. Just that he was there, he got very sick, and he died.
Do I know if he was there for a while? Or like if he was in position for a couple days and then something happened?
This would have been the guy that came with them.
Okay.
From home. So, theoretically, it would have been quite a while.
So it kind of sounds like I knew too much. I don't know.
It certainly is intriguing.
Well, the fact that he just died, quote unquote, suddenly, that's.
I mean, I'm not quite sure what they're looking for, what the previous bodyguard gave and then suddenly didn't, or what happened exactly, but I mean, I think if we all just look our best and play to our own strengths, then hopefully one of us will get in.
Should we have code names?
I mean, if one of us gets in, I suppose having code names to speak to the others need be, and a way to communicate outside of the gate or the fence around the house's walls would be appropriate. She's like very hesitant as she sees Dustin probably getting more and more excited.
Dustin's shoulders are tensing more as his smile kind of grows a little bit wider. Well, if that's the case, I'm gonna go get something to wear, something nice. I shall return.
Ara's gonna look to Xanroar and kind of just be like, I know you work in weapons and armor, but do you have much expertise with small, perhaps pieces of jewelry?
He just kind of shrugs. I'm no jeweler, but if you need me to take a look at something, by all means, bring it by.
Well, I was going to actually perhaps need a replacement of something crafted.
Eyebrow raised. What do you need?
My signet ring. I gave it to someone for a personal mission, and I am thinking it might help with this endeavor we're on, but I would need a copy created. I could show you the designs.
That would be appreciated. I've already used my kind of insta build for the day, but I could try and work on it if I can probably convince the man at Irons in the Fire to let me borrow his forge for some time to make your ring.
Of course, and I can cover all the costs required.
Yeah, I don't have the money spare for that, so that would definitely help.
Well then, looks like we're in business.
Out of character, he has no proficiencies in jewel work, or which I think this would be. Or
Yeah,
where are the tools?
there's a whole set of tools that he doesn't have for this.
Not proficient in them either.
This could go greatly or poorly, and I'm excited for it.
Well, do we know what time this whole thing is going down?
Just said today.
Well, we should probably figure out when it's going down. Then we can work on this.
We'll chalk that up to DM forgetting information, and because there would have been a time on the thing, obviously, so people could show up. We'll say it starts at noon every day. It'll run from noon till 5 p.m. ish. So you have those are the blocks of time you have to show up for today, tomorrow, and the day after.
What time is it now?
Morning-ish. I said around like 9:10. So you have about 2 hours of prep time.
Just in case, I'm gonna. Do you mind if we work on this after today?
Of
I
course.
prefer to keep some spells just in case we need them.
Of course we can.
So Dustin is going to get clothes. What kind of clothes were you looking to get?
Dustin's gonna get a tuxedo.
What is with everyone getting fancy?
Yes.
Yes.
getting a full tuxedo.
He's playing
He's
to
also-
his strengths. He's a butler.
They
Hey.
He's gonna buttle.
roll an investigation.
Oh God, please. Just the one time. Come on, Dustin, don't fail me, please. Oh,
That's enough to find, like, this is not a fancy town. Their good clothes are not on the level of, like, even merchants, really. So, like, you're not going to find any, like, super fancy outfits here.
is it passable to look like?
Like,
I don't want to say. Sorry.
it was like you could find, like, nice clothes that are not, like, road worn and battle scarred, but
Mostly
like,
I'm just looking for like a button down, a bow tie, a blazer, and some nice pants.
You could probably get the equivalent thereof.
That's fine.
Probably not a jacket, because like the majority of the stuff you're gonna find here are work clothes. Like there is a tailor, but it's not so much that they make like awesome clothes fitted to people. It's like they're a lot of this, like, these are hardworking people, so they don't need super fancy clothes. But there are some nice clothes like that people would wear to the temple or to a wedding, you know. But they're not like high end fancy.
Dustin will get wedding clothes. I feel like Dustin will get wedding clothes. He's gonna get some wedding clothes.
Which is just very clean, nicely pressed shirts and pants.
And Dustin is also going to do his hair so his hair is slicked back. And going down, whether he have to use some grease or not, he'll buy it. And he's grown a little stubble, but he is also going to shave and just leave a little bit on his like the mustache area, but cut it down the middle. And he's gonna go to Ara after she's done putting her nice clothes. So there you go. So how do I look?
Sit. Just come here. Sit in this chair and face that way, please.
Okay, this way. All right.
Just fix the tie a little bit and just kind of straighten out your lapel. Now, stand up.
It's gonna stand up, back straight.
She's gonna pull out her dagger and just kind of jab the butt into his shoulder, so he puts his shoulders back, like standing in proper, and lift his chin.
Okay.
Now, open your mouth, or clench your teeth, like together. I'm just gonna rub some like mild Vaseline chemical from my poisoner's kit on his teeth, so it just keeps him smiling or like kind of grinning. Keep your head back, shoulders back, head up, looking forward.
Okay.
So
Mhm.
Mara's watching this and like looking at the two of you. Her brothers are outside. They are sparring, and it's very quick paced. But Mara's keeping inside, watching them get ready, and she's kind of watching what's going on with Dustin. Like, I thought, isn't this a bodyguard position?
Yes, but I mean, he wants to play the part of looking nice. Who am I to say no?
You never know what they're looking for. Perhaps they're
This
looking
is
for
too much.
magical or cooking, guarding, some.
Is this too much?
You look a bit pained. Are you feeling okay? You're smiling so much more than. Why are you smiling like that? A bit squeaky. Why are you squeaking? I don't think they want the squeaking.
I can't move.
Yeah, that doesn't make you look strong. That just makes you sound squeaky.
Alright. I was I was also thinking of a different accent or a different voice, and I came up with this. Hello, I'm Damien Nielsen. Very nice to meet you.
Wait,
Yes or no?
you're making up a name as well.
Yes.
What? But making up a name and an accent are both unnecessary. Is there a reason? I mean, I thought we were doing code names with ourselves, but won't you get confused?
I felt cool.
I mean, you look so cool.
He was a bit ridiculous, but okay.
Temperance just
lying to
gives
him
Leaf a
now.
look like he needs this. Give him this. He needs it. Yeah, I mean, perhaps you can bake them something extra fancy for your application, and they'll be completely astounded at both your style and cooking skills.
Bribing. Not a bad idea. Alright. I think that's what I'm gonna do then. If that's the case, he's gonna rip both of the sleeves off.
What?
Here I go. Just
Oh my
walk into the kitchen.
Better.
Oh my
What? Okay.
Temperance will
Alright.
look to Ara like, "What did you tell him? No sleeves?
No, that was him
Right.
entirely.
Why no sleeves?"
I don't know, to show his biceps.
It's the peak of fashion.
Listen, I'm just as confused as you. I don't know.
Oh, I know I got Aura bad when she's speechless.
Yeah, Xanroar's just outside during this entire endeavor, just working on his Iron Man enchantment.
Skippy, did you ever come back, or are you having long conversations?
Yeah, no, this would just be Skippy. Like, if this were a TV show, it would just like skip. Like, next scene would just be Skippy still sitting on the tree branch talking to Alzorna.
Elzorna will converse like he's going to make an actual effort to speak. Like he is kind of stuttery. And as time goes on, he'll tilt his head and look down at Skippy like, will they miss you?
Oh yeah, no, they'll definitely miss me. They miss you too. If you want to come to our tower, Mara and Malik and Iggy and Leaf and Temperance and Dustin and Ara and Xanroar and Shelby are all there.
Leaf is
Leaf is a little she's one Skippy tall and she is a little person. I thought she was a child, but she's not. But she's nice. She and Skippy's gonna like look around all directions and be like, "She gave me alcohol."
then Elzorna will look around. Is that bad?
Yeah, Temperance says I'm too young to drink it. And so does Xanroar and almost anybody that I ask. Ara also says I'm too young to drink it, but that's why she gives it to me sometimes. But Temperance. What if Skippy's gonna like ask about Alzorna, be like, what have you been doing? Like, what adventures have you gone on?
Traveling, hiding, too close to town.
I don't think I got that last little bit.
Too close to town. and he'll just sort of tap his chest. Not trusted. Wrong kind of elf.
Well, I think you're the best kind of elf.
Looking at him, he smiles on that, but it's a sad sort of smile, and you kind of get the feeling that he doesn't feel the same way.
Okay, Skippy, he's gonna see this and he's gonna be like, so Skippy is going to try to explain his thought process on what makes somebody a good or bad of something, and it doesn't really matter on what they are, but how friendly they are, and that makes them the best of what they are. So Skippy's gonna be like, Dustin, he's the best of the humans because he's the friendliest. And then he's gonna bring back the goat that kicked him a few days back, and he's be like, that was the worst of that goat because it was mean.
But goat was probably afraid. Animals fight when they are afraid. Humans, people fight when they are afraid. Let me see. And then he'll tap his chest again, like, we'll be afraid of Drow, always.
Well, I'm afraid of a lot of stuff too, but I like to read books instead. And he's gonna sit there and be like, "Can I bring you out any food? I think we have a couple sweet rolls left over."
He'll hesitate a moment and then he'll nod.
Skippy will just be like, "All right, I'll be right back," and he'll flap off to go grab food for his friend.
Minutes. So Skippy's flying back. What is your current plan?
Skippy's
or everybody as a whole in general?
I don't think we stepped.
As soon as the time came around, Xanroar's going to go to wherever this thing was to meet.
Yes.
Yeah, is it like time
people.
slots? Temperance would want to go on the first day.
Okay.
Dustin will too.
Same as Xan.
So
Oh, Skippy would want to go.
who is... So everybody, the whole group is going currently?
What's that?
So everybody's going. What's Leaf up to? I didn't hear from Leaf.
Leaf is just kind of following the party right now. She's been kind of sitting in a chair, like kicking her feet, watching the insaneness of Ara trying to help him look proper.
So Skippy, you return home. You find Dustin baking in new clothes that have the arms ripped off. Ara looks incredibly fancy. Xanroar is being Xanroar as always.
Oh,
Predictably Xanroar.
Predictably.
that actually makes me so happy that that's the thing.
Predictably Xanroar.
He's
And
making something.
Did Temperance have any like anything you needed to get done before heading to place?
She's just going over her notes again, and maybe she's probably trying to ask around that poor barkeep, but they seem to know the most. ask to get more detailed information about the land that these people came from, so that maybe she could speak to it. She thinks that information could be her leg up, and she'll like polish her daggers and look as formidable as she can.
The most the bartender is able to offer, like, she don't know, like, the desert. It's like, I grew up here all my life, but they'd had to come through core, and I know there's swamps out that way, and then the desert's to the north. I know there was a lot of fighting out that way a couple decades ago, but I think it probably calmed down by now. We ain't heard a whole lot about that. But, no news. So it was probably safe enough for them to get down here if they got here with all of their entourage and alive. So,
Did you, out of character, Athy, did you say that our friends are still in town?
yes. You
Okay.
do know that they're still there. But they weren't at the
Okay.
tavern when you went.
Maybe she could look for them, see if they've been about. Perhaps they have some information to give her. Lord. Or are they applying? I guess she would want to find out if they're even applying. That.
Roll an investigation to find them.
Oh no. Oh.
25.
Oh, sorry.
We'll go with the first roll. You do find them. They're on the main drag. You find, Tobin, which was the smaller, darker one. And Big Blondie is nowhere to be seen at the moment, but you do find the one, and he is, excuse me. He is just, it looks like he is buying things for the road, stocking up on provisions and stuff.
Okay. He was the slightly nicer one of the two, I believe.
Yes. The other one didn't really say anything and just glared daggers at Ara for reasons.
Temperance will go up to him or will pretend to be also buying a provision of sorts and be like, "Oh, hello again. Fancy meeting you here after I stalked you." So heading out, I see.
Kind of looks a bit surprised, but shrugs. He's like, yeah, we're got a bit of road ahead.
Off to the next adventure, huh? You're not sticking around to apply for that new bodyguard position? Temperance tries to lean on the counter, sound all cash.
Cash. That's good. I love that.
I love the
Actually not
thought
really
of this being like a mother trying to talk to their child about drugs, being like, you know what's really cool? Sobriety.
Oh no.
Yeah, but Temperance is like leaning against the counter, but like against the side of the counter because she's not nearly tall enough to lean against the actual countertop. And he kind of looks down at her and he's like, nah, no way in hell.
Yeah, it seems pretty boring considering that we're just, guarding one member of the family. It's probably beneath us, but we figured we'd earn some money. They seemed like they could use some help. I mean, I heard they were from what's that place up north? Oh, the desert with the storms, and she'll try and act like she's forgetting the name, hoping that he'll fill in the blank.
Uh, he doesn't. He's kind of giving her this very like The fuck are you getting at, little bird lady? Like, I'm on to you.
Oh, what was
Like,
that town that they were from? God, it's just flown right out of my head. I can't remember.
does it matter?
Oh, I just thought it would give me a leg up if I could just remember the name of that place. Oh well. This isn't going like she's basically on bailout status if he's like not.
He's like, you're a weird little bird. But
Well, best of luck to you. Where are you guys headed next? You gotta just freewheeling it, or you have a contract you're going to. What's up with you guys? What's going on? Friendly.
uh, this is where diplomacy checks would come in handy, but they don't exist anymore. He just sort of shrugs. He's like, we got paid. Thinking of heading out to somewhere far away. Something new, something different. Get the baby somewhere that'll get the big guy to calm down a bit.
Yes, he seems to have. I really don't mean to keep using bird references, but he seems to have ruffled his own feathers. I don't know. Seemed a little worked up.
No one
at
ruffles their
War.
own feathers. Feathers get rustled, um, as well do Jimmy's, and his have been thoroughly rustled. Um,
Well, I hope it wasn't
I'd
something that we did.
no, but I'd avoid
Just
him.
like that.
He's got like, nah, but I'd avoid him.
Noted. Well, it was always fun to. It's always fun to catch up with a fellow adventuring group. Sorry if we have done something to offend you. Wish you the best of luck.
You're okay. Like, as you're talking to him, you didn't really get like, because the tavern's darker, and you weren't really paying that much attention. But the more you're like actually trying to have a conversation with him and not being distracted by big angry blonde guy across the table, like, you do kind of notice that his ears are pointed like a half elf should be, but they don't look real. Like, you're getting like disguise kit feel from that.
He's in cosplay.
Could I roll an insight to maybe get any, like, do I notice any other possible race indicators or
That would be
anything else?
perception.
Oh.
Insight is
Well-
emotional.
Okay. Perception. Roll 20 is laggy.
You think he's probably actually full human, as far as you can tell.
And I'm sorry, remind me, Ara, your half elf?
She's a high elf, full elf.
High elf, full elf. Okay. Trying to think of some subtle jab to say in terms of that, but she'll leave it alone. She'll make a note of it and just leave it be. And just say, well, best of luck to you. If we ever cross paths again, or I hope we find each other in good spirits, better spirits, should I say. Best of luck to you and your large angry friend.
He's just like, like I said, we got paid. We're good to go. And he seems pretty smug about that. Kind of like he feels he got like the better deal kind of situation.
Better than
Miss ridiculous passive skills. You,
Yeah, I mean, Temperance has got no other, like, me as a person want to ask more questions. Temperance can't really see a way slick out of this or into it further. So she'll probably go back and look for Ara and just, because Ara was there for the conversation, maybe even Xanroar too, because they were all there for the conversation in the tavern, and explain, hey, ran into our old friend, and it looks like his ears are fake. Why would he be doing that? Is there Temperance has absolutely no idea, and turns to the full elf and just say, is that
He was faking half elf, not faking full
yeah.
elf.
Yeah, but just say, like, is there a reason why? I thought half elves were not frowned upon, but just, why would somebody fake being a half elf?
DM, would that be a common knowledge thing for an elf?
No. Like, especially as a high elf, you'd be like, what the fuck? Like, why? Given your background, could roll intelligence, possibly.
All right.
History. It's just a straight intelligence. It's not really history. Given your background and your use of disguise kits, he's probably trying to not look like who he was. There's probably more than just the ears that were changed. Like he's probably dodging something, or just for whatever reason he doesn't want to look like he actually looks. And this is what he picked.
Well,
Shifting like a race is, while harder to do, going a half elf is probably way easier than trying to pretend to be a full elf.
Or putting on green paint.
Yes. So
yeah.
so like shifting a race is probably like one of the better ideas if people are looking for a human.
My best guess, because you'd have to be insane to want to be a half elf, for like personal reasons, would be that he's trying to hide from someone or something.
Where's this conversation taking place?
At the tower currently, I believe.
Yeah, wherever everybody was kind of congregating back to.
Would it only be between them, or would Dustin be hearing this too?
No, you could totally be here. I mean, I imagine you were, getting some arm movement and cooking some stuff or something.
Dustin's gonna walk over and is like, wait, he's human?
No, I didn't say that. I just, for some reason, his ears, the pointedness was, not authentic. I don't really know why. Perhaps he's human. Do you recognize him?
Not recognize him as in I know him. And Dustin's gonna look a little hesitant. I don't come from this continent. I wasn't born here. I was born somewhere else. And where I was born, there's mostly humans, and there are a... DM, remind me, is this a whole... What my father was he that, like, the whole human population, or just a part of them?
No, that was like their culture, like the whole kingdom that he's from, or that you're from, technically.
The culture is that we don't like magic. We sealed off all magic over there, and magic is to the point where we go out and kill people who have magic. I got out of that. However, my father was a part of that, and if another human is there, we're mostly human, or all human. I don't remember too well, but if you're trying to disguise yourself to not look like something in order to kill somebody or people, especially in a place where there's a lot of magic, a continent where there's a lot of magic, it makes sense.
So you think that perhaps they're disguising themselves to commit murder, that to assassinate somebody?
I don't know.
Why would they? And she's just like kind of thinking this out loud with you and just saying like, why would they first trouble themselves with a mission on getting a key? That seems silly.
It seems odd. I'm not saying that's what it is, but I get wary between other people that look like me, especially with our friends who can do magic things.
DM, like timeline wise, could the dropping off of their key have timed with, or could Temperance put together that the dropping off of the key with them could have timed in around the time that the bodyguard died? Like, does she think that those might be related?
No, the
Okay.
bodyguard died a while back. Cause like these like you had learned like these flyers had been put up at different caravanserai, so it's been at least a couple weeks to
Okay.
get the attention of people.
Okay.
But
yeah.
but yeah, so as far as everyone was able to tell, Ara, you were at the table too, that big blonde guy was human, and you guys had thought that little guy was half elf, but he also appears to be human.
Very peculiar.
People are weird.
Temperance will just make a note of what he looked like and just say, maybe human underneath her notes.
Are we getting close to time? We gotta go.
Well, I mean, what is the rest of everybody? And she's like looking around the tower, like, where has everybody else gone? Is everybody else coming? What are they doing with their day?
Well, Skippy went off somewhere, but I'm not too sure.
And
Did
Leaf?
Skippy grab sweet rolls and run again, or did he come back and get caught up in things?
Skippy, if nobody would have stopped him to tell him what was going on, Skippy would have grabbed sweet rolls and probably have just like dropped him off with Alzorna, given him a hug, and told Alzorna that he'll see him again soon, and then fly back. Because Skippy's also trying to like renew his time on the tower.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure like how long that would take in game, but
the meeting starts at noon, and your tower's gonna die around 3, so you have a couple hours.
oh no, I'm not sure how long it took me to like fly the tower, grab sweet rolls, fly back to Alzorna, then back to the tower.
Probably not super long. I would say flying maybe 10 minutes. Like this map is not particularly to scale, we could pretend, but
What, my tower isn't 3 times the size of any other building?
just like size-wise in general of everything. I am bad at maps, but yes. So there's time.
Yeah, and Skippy is just gonna. Because Leaf, are you still at the tower?
Yes.
Yeah, Skippy will go to Leaf and be like, "What's going on?"
I don't really know. I haven't been paying attention, but like this guy's looking really weird, and I think he's trying to be a fancy guard. So everything's going really great here. This has all just been unfolding very well.
Which guy?
Yeah, and just Skippy. I'm not sure if Skippy had made the connection, but just like seeing the sort of stuff like magically that Leaf can do and the stuff that you had seen Alzorna can do, they're very similar.
Oh, I met another one of you.
What? Another one of me? There is
Yeah.
only one leaf, let me tell you.
Have you seen the forest?
I was about to say the same thing. So Skippy's gonna look confused at that statement about only being one leaf, and it's like write that down in his notebook with like a circle and a question mark next to it. Like, what are the other leaves?
Are leaves just an illusion?
So
Are there
anyways,
wizards involved?
Skippy's gonna be like, yeah, no, my friend Alzorna, and he's going to minor illusion a picture of Alzorna.
What does it
And
look
be like,
like?
I was just gonna try to do the one that we have, except Skippy would probably make him, because Skippy like at first was uncomfortable with how Alzorna looked, because he does look rather scary. But so he'd probably like do Alzorna, but like with Alzorna like in a like friendly pose. So it's like Alzorna, but he's standing up giving finger guns.
Masked or
'Cause,
masks or no mask? That is
no mask.
that is a so for leaf. So you'll see a really
Oh, excellent. Another wildling.
and Iggy. Well, the three of them technically, Iggy and Malik were outside, so the two of them will stop immediately, and like the moment that goes up and they see that goes up, they're going to freeze, and Iggy's going to dispel that, like immediately.
Skippy's gonna sit there and be like, what happened?
No.
No pictures?
What?
And Iggy's gonna come over and he's going to kneel down in front of Skippy. Be like, he wears a mask for a reason.
But
Anyone around here in this town sees him, they are all going to try to hurt him.
but why would they do that? He hasn't done anything.
Doesn't matter.
Ooh.
Well, this town is stupid. The people in Everbright are nice, except for Gary.
He wouldn't be welcome there either. He is of a people that they're not good. He is trying very, very hard to not be like them.
Like
Well.
a druid? Am I gonna get hurt?
Yeah, so yeah, I don't think anybody's ever explained to
Um,
Skippy what Alzorna is. So Skippy is probably on the same
Yeah,
thought process. And be like,
Xanroar's gonna come over at this point. Like he's been outside and he's seen all this, and he'll come over. He'll also try and help explain things to Skippy. Skippy, do you know what people normally think of when they speak of, let's say, orcs or half-orcs? Before you met me, before you met anyone, what did you learn about orcs?
Before I met you, I didn't know what an orc was.
Fair enough. Basically, most people believe we are dumb savages who only live to kill and fight and pillage. Same sort of thing is happening with him. People are basing their beliefs off of what race he is, based off of him being a dark elf, not off of who he is. Most people
Skippy-
aren't as good as you are.
I feel like it did come up at one point because there was explanations about.
Was it? Okay, I might have just forgotten then.
Because one of the main reasons that that elven conclave existed was that they were trying to save the ones that they could. But then the drow had come up and put a stop to that.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So then maybe Skippy. Okay. All right. Then go back a little bit. Skippy just doesn't understand the hatred behind it, but he does know what he is. So reverse the not knowing. Well, Skippy's just gonna sit there and be like, "Well, that's stupid," and people are stupid, and
Yeah,
I'm gonna change that. And people are going to like Elzorna one day.
And Iggy will smile and stand up. It's like, well, that's what we hope for too. But he has to believe that as much as you do.
Oh, Elzorna knows that he's a good boy.
Iggy and Malik kind of like look at each other, but they don't say anything.
Anybody other than Skippy that would have said this would have came out so weird. Only Skippy could have said that.
You're not wrong.
Did so when I dropped off the sweet rolls with Elzorna, did he like eat them?
Like it would have been like a test bite, and then like his eyes get really big, like and then like eat.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna sit there and say like when I just gave him the sweet rolls, he loved them, and sweet rolls are for good people. Which is what Temperance told me, because I can only have a sweet roll if I'm good. I don't know why, but so he had a sweet roll, so he's good. And Skippy's just gonna sit there and like say it as a matter of fact. Like there's no, you cannot have a sweet roll if you are not good. Like that is
That's the law.
like he says it almost to a point where you would believe that Skippy believes if he turns evil one day, he would never be allowed to eat sweet rolls. Like the universe would not allow it.
Well, this just got real awkward.
Malik is just like, all we ask is that you be careful. We don't need a riot, because people will be afraid.
Yeah, no, we don't want that. We don't want to cause any trouble. More than we're already doing.
All right, Skippy will be like, all right, I will not show pictures of Elzorna anymore. But if anybody asks about my coolest friends that are wolf based, I'm saying Leaf and Elzorna.
We're friends?
Skippy's gonna look at her like, duh, yeah, of course we're friends.
I knew I'd make one at some point. At least one owl friend that wasn't my friend George. But you know what? We're not going to talk about him because I'm still kind of mad at him.
There's another George. Oh, that's Gary. But...
Well, this is wonderful and all, but don't we have a noble family to go and introduce ourselves to?
Wait, what?
Yeah, we do.
You think they'll
Just
call
come
me?
along, Skippy. We'll explain it on the way.
Okay. And Skippy's just gonna hop on Xanroar's shoulder and...
If I don't see you when we leave, have a very safe trip back, guys.
Wait, they're not gonna be here either?
They're leaving in the afternoon. I don't know when in the afternoon.
Okay, Skippy's then gonna go around and give everybody hugs. And yeah.
Well, Mara's gonna pick up Skippy and give him a big hug, just in case. But I think we could hang around by the time you guys get back. I mean, I really want to hear what happens.
Skippy's like all his feathers are gonna like furl up.
And she will set him on Xanroar's shoulder.
Xanroar will accept the bird. By the way, did you want me to do a roll for working on the enchantment or anything?
Sure.
All right. Smith tools with intelligence. And I'll guide myself.
You do the roll. We'll deal with that later on. That's a good roll. So you guys are heading southways on the map towards the gate
I'm gonna put
of
my character there.
the manor. There are some people gathering about. They're all. They all look like stronger types, like various types of armor.
Dustin is gonna put his chainmail underneath his ripped, weird suit thing.
Yeah, Zan's got his armor, and he doesn't have the longsword anymore. He apparently put that back in the bag. He also doesn't have the moon shield either. He has some weird square thing now.
It looks big and heavy. So there are people hanging around, and there are there is a table. It looks like a really fancy, well carved, super expensive, should be in someone's sitting room table in matching chair that is sitting out in the grass off to the side here. There's 2 guards on each side, and there's a fellow sitting in the desk that most of you get the impression that he doesn't actually want to be doing this job at all. And he's there. He's like, please make a line. We are going to take down your names, and we will call you one at a time for the physical evaluation. Anyone who plans on applying for the position of bodyguard for young master, you will line up here, and he's gonna start repeating the the thing as people start lining up.
Yeah.
And
Xanroar will try and line up away from the rest of the group just so it's not like conspicuous, all of us together.
Who's going to be first?
Yeah, and Temperance would just say, you know, we don't know exactly when this position's going to start, so if for some reason we're whisked away right away, if one of us wins, like, I don't know what, like, she's just trying to craft a rendezvous point. Like, I don't know what this is going to be, if it's just put your paper down and then you walk away, or if they're going to be like, okay, come to our grounds and you disappear for a day.
If anything, I can if I get chosen, I can contact you all. If somebody else gets chosen, I can contact them. Don't need to worry about that.
Hey, I got animals that can send messages. I got you all.
That too.
As long as
so
the animals don't get eaten by scorpions.
you're
We'll do that.
essentially you would yes, scorpions are not something that Leaf would have ever seen. They're not native to forests, really. So you're not really sure what they mean when Temperance says scorpion, let alone giant scorpion.
Hey, new things she can turn into.
Yes, so that's another thing about druids. You take, I believe it's like 10 minutes to just kind of investigate, look over, learn a new creature. You can then become that. It becomes one of the things you can turn into.
Excellent.
So which one of you guys are actually going to apply for bodyguardship?
Dustin will.
Otter will.
Temperance would.
So
But
Dustin,
Dustin is gonna go under the name.
Temperance.
Dustin is going under a different name.
Dustin, what name are you gonna go under?
Damian Nielsen.
He posted it in chat.
Nielsen. Okay. Ara, Temperance,
Leaf.
Leaf.
Xanroar.
So everybody.
Do I just have an owl on my shoulder?
And a for real
Uh,
owl.
Actually, as Xanroar is saying that, Skippy's gonna be like, and he's gonna hop off his shoulder and be like, I actually already made plans to
Oh,
participate with
Temperance will
somebody
turn to
else.
Skippy and say, Skippy, could you do me a huge favor? Probably the biggest favor I've asked of you. Would you please make sure that our tower stays clean and upright and available to us, should we need it here? I don't think that we want to risk you in the bodyguard position.
Skippy is gonna go and hop over next to Leaf and be like, and like you can see that he's physically like fighting himself not to be like, yes. He's sitting there, he's gonna be like,
Very important role I'm asking of you.
he's gonna be like, I'm sorry, I've already made plans to compete as Leaf's pet owl.
Because are they gonna believe that somebody like me doesn't have a pet owl? Come on.
So we're competing as a duo.
Because like there's one of me, right? And I'm only like 3 feet tall, so they're gonna be like, oh, I don't know if I want the small child being my bodyguard, but if I have this big ferocious owl, how
And
could they
Skippy
say
like
no?
hops up on top of her head, so we now stand 6 feet tall.
Temperance
We
is
basically are
looking
gonna
at
be
this
one
tower,
person.
and she's like, that sounds like a great idea. And she's like, oh, they're not gonna like, this is not a threat. They will not be in danger, which is what she's worried about.
We should get a trench coat.
Are there
We
any
should.
of the guard scorpions that we can see? Temperance would be trying to point those out to Leaf if she knew of Leaf's
If
abilities.
you're looking through the gates, like, you could definitely see them. Like, while last night they were roaming the grounds entirely, right now they're all kind of, like, positioned, like, around the house. They're close to the house now.
She's just trying to be like, Leaf, those pointy, sharp-looking things are the scorpions I was talking about.
Those are adorable, and can I go talk to them? You think I could talk to them? I think I could talk to them.
Hoot.
Right. Yeah. No. Stay on task. Right. Yes. No. Later.
So, you're lined up, and, Dustin, if you're first, you come up to the guy, and he has his head in his hand, and a page, and he's writing in a language you've not ever seen, and he's like, right, name,
Damien Nielsen. Nielsen. My bad.
kind of looks up, Nielsen or Nielsen?
Whichever you prefer. They're spelled the same way. N-I-L, and he's gonna spell it out.
Skippy is gonna hear Dustin spell something for the first time, and like still trying to pretend to be a normal owl is just gonna like shake in like joy.
Okay, so, let's say, age,
30.
and he looks him up and down. All human?
All human.
Alright, next. He'll go down the line, and it'll be the same with you guys. It does not seem to matter if you're human or not. He's taking down just these bits of information. Does anyone say something other than what they are? Obviously, other than Skippy, we'll get to you in a second.
Ara gives like full name and like title, so like of House Umber, and lady, of course.
Leaf is going to say lead as her name, and that she's 23 instead of 22.
Hoot.
So,
And my pet owl Skype. Instead of Skippy.
Skype. So, and he looks at Skippy, and he kind of leans out of his chair a little bit back over to glance over to where Temperance's had wandered off to, like looking at her, and then looking at Skippy. It's like we're not looking for a group.
Who?
A group?
I don't even know these people. I don't.
You and the bird. Either you do it separately or not at all. We're not looking for a duo, we're looking for a bodyguard.
But Skippy does look like a normal owl.
Yeah, this is just a bird. This is just my pet. It's not like he's not like my sidekick or anything.
How long
He's-
does that spell last for?
An hour?
An hour? What's your spell?
Disguise self?
Well, the DC to disbelieve.
Oh, I think it's...
Probably not a 9.
It is
So-
not. It is 4.
Okay. So he kind of like looks a minute. He's like, lead. And he goes, 23 looks at you. Gnome?
No, a halfling. Sorry, hi.
And the
Very strong though.
the two guards actually snicker at that.
It's very rude.
Not at you.
Wait, one.
Because they snicker and the guy shoots them a glare. And he's taking the notes. And we'll be starting shortly. And he sits there and just kind of like waiting for others to trickle up. They have time. So, what do you guys do while you're waiting for the shindig to start?
I'm looking over the rest of the competitors and seeing the quality of their weapons and armor. Xanroar things.
Roll in it perception.
Right, I'm gonna guide myself.
For a second, I thought you were about to say initiative. I was like, whoa, he really made someone mad by
The scorpions get loose.
I will crush them.
There are most people they seem to be yield standard fare. Like these people have probably worked caravans, have done jobs like this before. Their stuff is nice. It's functional, like it does what it's supposed to. There is a Dragonborn there that like his stuff seems better than the others in like quality. Like you could tell that like whoever made this armor that he's wearing, the arms and armor are very skilled, or he either had the money to have it made. Like this isn't the sort of stuff that yield standard like caravan bodyguard person would come across. This is somebody that either knows their shit or at least looks like they do.
Just a fall, like he's gonna do something else, but just a quick question. So it looks like most of them are wearing like what's metal armor, hide armor.
It's an array.
Okay.
There's not a whole lot of people there besides you guys, but this is taking place over the course of a couple days, and it is early in the day. So
Fair
for
enough.
what you're seeing, but yeah, like they seem to like these people are competent from what you could tell. Like their stuff is they've taken care of their stuff, but nothing besides the red dragonborn that like really stands out.
Xanroar will approach and just kind of like not really say much, but just kind of start checking out his armor closer up. No personal space. Checking out the armor.
He's standing there. He has his arms folded. He has a very large sword no shields. He kind of looks at the massive, like, slab of metal that you're carrying along with you. And it's just like, he just kind of raises a brow, and you get the feeling that, like, he is judging you, and it's not in a good way.
Xanroar doesn't really seem to notice or care. He's just investigating the armor. Where did you get this armor? It's good craftsmanship.
That's for me to know. And he, like, reaches out and, like, flicks the big metal shield, and he's like, you are that... Excuse me, I am getting stuck on words, stuttering.
All good.
He's like, you think that poorly of your skills that you need to hide behind something like that.
He doesn't really seem to notice or care while he's still checking out the armor and the weapon. It does its job. Keeps me alive, so everything else dies around me.
Dragonborn just snorts. He's like, if you get any closer, I will pluck out your eyes.
Not really even looking up from the armor and weapons. Not likely.
Is Skippy within earshot of this?
Probably. Like, you're all gathered around in the same area.
Skippy's gonna look at the Dragonborn and go, "Hoot!"
Xanroar's then just gonna look up and... You know what they say about an immovable object meeting unstoppable force? Should be interesting to find out.
Just snorts and poofs out black smoke from his nose. And as you are all waiting, there eventually you all spot it once it reaches around here. It looks really strange. It almost looks like someone is riding on a cart that has no horses and has no wheels, but the closer it gets, you notice that this is an older, pudgy gentleman in blue silk robes, in a turban with, like, obnoxiously purple feathers on the top, and he's sitting cross-legged on a flying carpet as he comes up close to the gate, and then he flies up over the gate, and the carpet lands on the other side, and he stands up, and he's like, friends! Welcome! My name is Riyadh. I am the vizier to this family, and I am here to guide you through the process of this interview. I am sure you are all excited to begin. And he smiles and claps his hands together, and he looks really jovial and nice. And I will be taking you each one at a time in order of... And he reaches over and the man at the table gives him the current list of everyone that's here at the moment. And I will fly you in, and we will begin the physical part of this interview. What is going to happen is you are going to meet with somebody. We're going to do a little test of skill, just to see what you know. There's nothing to worry about. No one is going to die. No one is going to get terribly hurt. And then every day, as we are going to be holding these contests, if you will, for the next 3 days. Each day we are going to pick somebody, and on the very last day, those people are going to meet with Lord Judar of the Antar family, and he gestures big with his hand back towards the house, and because he would like to meet with everybody who is close to what we are looking for, and he will be the one to make the last decision. Is this all right with everybody here?
What?
Yes.
Well, my owl said.
Temperance nods.
Ara nods.
Grumble. Side-eyeing the Dragonborn. Grumbling.
Okay. And he is going to just kind of like shake out the paper, straighten his back a little bit. I am looking for a Damien Niallison.
Yes, here.
Right.
Also, for continuity's sake, I'm gonna say that Bob was left with what's his face, Malik. Is that okay?
Oh, okay. Say, Bob? Question mark.
Wait, yeah.
I was gonna name it Bernie, but it didn't come out of my mouth.
Okay.
And Damien, sorry, will walk up to the gate, and if it opens, or
Nope.
no, sorry, the flying carpet.
Yes, so he's going to have a seat, and he is going to turn around, just sit down on the ground on the carpet, and once Dustin is seated, is going to lift it up, and it feels kind of like a waterbed, but obviously it's not water, but it has that like flowy feeling as it traverses, and
Dustin is gonna hold his warhammer, war axe. Jesus, I can't speak today.
Great axe.
Thank you, great axe. And as they're flying, he's not gonna have a facial expression, but inside he's gonna be like, "What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck?" And as they're flying,
okay, and he has an accent that I cannot reproduce, but he a not from around
the
here
weirdest sentence.
sort of accent, and you are flown up. You fly over the manor. I am going to move everybody to this new map. Hopefully I did this right. So you want to go down to the bottom, and you should see the token for the guy.
okay, yeah,
A lot of it is going to be blocked off, because you cannot
yes.
see inside the house quite yet.
I need to make Dustin a bit bigger.
Can you pull it, or do I need to?
I already put him on there. I don't know why he didn't. Oh, there we go.
Well, only Dustin is going to be there. But you're flying over, and you see what Temperance had been talking about. You do see these large scorpion creatures milling about the outside of the house. Coming up to this walkway here, it's all sand. It's actually really beautiful. The style is not something you've seen. Like, this is completely foreign, but it is very beautiful. There's a lot of color in the stones and tile work in the garden area. There's also a lot of sand. There are like desert plants. But you are going to be dropped off right in front of. It's a stone archway that leads into a big sand area, like a courtyard. There's a lot of hoof prints around. You see up this way, there, like all the way at the back of that. Let me move. So the back over here, they're kind of like stable doors. These doors over here look more sturdy, like like household doors. Everything is all connected. And as you're flying up, the vizier is going to make some like nice conversation. He's like, "Oh, don't worry about the carpet. It is perfectly safe. I know it's not something that you often see around here."
Dustin won't say anything and just look at him and just be a little freaked out, but is not gonna show it in his face, but show it in his eyes. He's just gonna start looking around and just like nod to him and holding his great axe on his back.
So, Damien, have you been up this way long? Have you done this sort of thing before?
Done body work. Body. This is player me not being able to say the word bodyguarding. not Dustin. And Damien will say, I've done bodyguard work before. However, I've not done it for a royal family.
Oh, we're not royals. Nothing like that. Just merchants from up north.
Right.
But as you're approaching, you see like you approach and you land in the grass area out front over here, and this building, like you could see it from the road somewhat, but it is obscured by trees, and before you get to the deserty area. But this building, there is so much glass on this building. And glass is something that is very, very expensive. And they are showing off a lot of glass. Like windows.
Dustin will think back to the story of when he heard of the now I'm forgetting the race that you made that built this.
Gadaki?
The Gadaki is gonna think to himself, I've gotta have a conversation with them. This is very nice. Very beautiful place. I like the architecture.
Thank you, thank you. It was designed mostly by the young Lady Parisa, the daughter of our Lord and Lady Antar of this house. She's quite an intelligent woman and very talented, and as he says, as he gestures to the stonework and marbling, and this is when they in the town had said this doesn't make sense. Even Dustin can look at this place and just, this is so out of place for this area. It really doesn't make sense.
Like an owl and a world full of non-owls, or Gwaihir.
And he's going to lead Dustin up to this entrance right here. And he is going to smile, and he's going to give a short little bow to the woman standing in the middle of the sand up there. And she's going to give him a nod back, and she looks kind of excited. Like, really into what's going on, bouncing back and forth on her feet. And this woman is a halfling. She is very small. She does have like the darker skin and darker hair, like people from the desert would have. And he gestures to her, and she says, "This is Amani. She is head of the guards here, and she is the personal bodyguard of Lord Judar himself, and she is going to be evaluating you today. You don't need to win, you just need to prove that you're worth her time. Do you understand?" He says, big smile, and he like curls his mustache around his finger.
Understood. Weapons or no weapons?
That is all up to you.
Right. Thank you. And are the doors open?
There's no doors here. It's just like a big stone arch here.
Okay.
So,
Dustin will walk forward through. Maybe like, and I'm so sorry. As a player, I don't remember what was the name again. Omani.
Amani.
With an A or an O?
Here. Amani.
Amani. Okay. Miss Amani, it's very nice to meet you.
She grins and, well, get over here.
Dustin will walk over with his janky outfit and will put his great axe in the stand, hold it by the handle from the top of it as it's in the sand. Just
Okay. And she is going to pull out a whip and just sort of wave it back and forth a little bit. So, show me what you got, big man.
right. And Dustin will take out his great axe from the sand, spin it a couple times. And are we rolling for initiative on this thing, or are we gonna?
Just roll a d20 and whoever's highest. We don't need to do a whole.
Okay. Everything's going real slow. Okay.
Okay. So Dustin,
All right. Dustin.
what do you do?
Dustin wants to make a good first impression. Do I have? Okay, so Dustin is going to go for one attack. Yeah, okay, so he is going to go for one attack. I'm not going to use any of my Battlemaster stuff just yet. I clicked it. I don't know if it went through. Okay, 16.
That does not hit, and she dodges back this way. You can make an attack of opportunity if you so choose.
I would like to. Is it going to? It might roll twice because I clicked it twice by accident. I'm
Why
not sure.
is
It's going
that
to
called
roll.
Anitra? What is I?
Don't know. I think we named it that when I got the Great Axe after I renamed it, but I don't remember why.
Oof.
The first one was the first roll. I apologize. All one came in now.
What? So the axe is Anitra. Okay.
Yes, the axe is an
So you do hit.
Okay. For some reason my roll 20 is going butt slow. 17 plus 12.
Okay.
Unless we're doubling that. And he will move forward. And what he's going to
Well,
do
no,
is
this is that was my mistake. You weren't done with your thing. She couldn't have moved yet.
Oh, okay.
Because I thought she just said I'm making one attack. Poof. So.
Oh, okay. So it's only
So
gonna
the
be like
second,
one attack.
like, if you want that to be your second attack, that crit, awesome.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna take that second attack. But I want that to be, if that's gonna be my second attack,
Okay.
to make it a trip attack with my Battlemaster. So I wanna take the Great Axe, and I wanna, as she dodges the first one, for me to go down and try to slice her feet and get her from the back of the knee and have her trip down. I can even do like a cool little side thing and just hit her on the back of the leg to see if she can get down.
Yes.
I need to see what I need to roll for that.
Strength saving throw.
What do I add to the superiority die? To the damage roll.
She makes a strength saving throw versus what? I don't remember.
I'm not sure what it would be.
Strength proficiency +8.
+8. So my strength is 5. What's my proficiency? +2.
Your proficiency
15.
should be 3 at this point.
Oh.
You're
Oh yeah.
level
it should be
5.
3. You're right. It should be 3.
So what's the total?
The 15. She makes it.
And she does not fall down.
But you will get an extra, because I have to roll the superiority die as a d8.
It's a crit, so ×2.
Yeah, so.
Jesus Christ.
And before my turn is over, can I
Mhm.
action surge?
Yes.
And Dustin will take another 2 hits, one to her side, and another he's gonna go to the clavicle.
Mm-hmm.
I really need to get Dustin whenever we level up next Great Weapon Master, because that would help.
That'd be level 8. Wait, no, or fighter, level 6.
The first one hits.
14.
You are just wailing on this tiny woman, and you're noticing that like you're hitting, and you're hitting well, but the impacts aren't actually touching her. They're a good inch or so away.
Okay.
You're noticing that. But you do feel the trip attack would have worked, like, because it did contact her, but she was just able to push forward out of it.
And Dustin afterwards is gonna go in a stance and is gonna say, "Show me what you got."
And she kind of stops, and she rubs her chin. She's like, "I don't think I gotta." And she um she looks back over at Judar, and they you've kind of seen similar, like when either Xanroar or I think Skippy could like there's magic involved, like they kind of look at each other and they're having a conversation that you can't hear.
Mhm.
And she slaps him hard on the butt, and she's like, "Good job, kid," and and gestures you back to towards the vizier, who looks kind of excited and smiley and gestures you over with like little waves of his hand.
Dustin will bow and say, "Thank you for the opportunity," then walk over to the flying carpet,
It's
not looking at the vizier.
it's like, that was good. You did good.
Thank you.
And he will fly Dustin back.
Once Dustin gets back, well, I'll wait for that. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Who's gonna be next after this?
Ara is technically next.
So I
Oh.
don't, because I don't want to step on anybody's RP with all of this. Dustin afterwards will go to like Xanroar and be like, "That was really scary. I hit her really hard. I feel really bad. Oh my god, what happened? Who was I?"
Xanroar will kind of lean in and I don't know, but we're supposed to be pretending like we don't know each other.
I know. I don't know who you are. That's why I'm venting to you.
Xanroar will just kind of fold his arms over his chest and just kind of grunt.
Dragon man, help me.
He's just going to like give you this like fuck look. So Ara, do you want to take this excursion?
Oh, of course.
And Riyadh will gesture her over when it's her turn. You said you guys were splitting up through the line, so we'll pretend that people have gone in the interim. And he will set you down on the magic carpet, and you will fly your way over. And again, he will attempt to make some chitty chats. He's like, how? Because she's dressed really fancy, right? Like
Yes, she is.
in like a gown, like what kind of fancy?
It's her. They're marked as fine clothes, but so I always just imagine them to be like court clothing.
Mm-hmm.
So like a not quite a gown, but not quite a dress. But like something. It's I don't know how to explain it. Like basically a gown. I'm stupid. basically a gown. And then she has her standard hood and scarf, but they're pulled down and off.
And he's like, "You must be extremely confident to dress like that."
Well, I do like to keep certain things hidden, especially doing this in this line of work.
I see, I see. And he curls his mustache. He's like, "Have you done this before?" Often.
Several times.
Wow. And he will land. And essentially, you get the same spiel. You will be fighting Miss Amani. She is going to judge your skills.
I'll be fighting her?
Yes. This is a
Very well.
a test of skills, as I had mentioned earlier.
Well, I suppose I should go get to work then, yes?
That would probably be a good idea if this is a job you're actually intending to take. And she Halfling Amani was like walking in circles in the area waiting for you guys to come back, and twirling her whip around, doing twirly like tricks and stuff with the whip. And she has a second one on her opposite hip. And looking up, Dustin, they weren't there when you were, but the festivities are starting, and above where you are, like, this is open up to the sky, but the second floor of this house has like a balcony area, and there are some people starting to gather up on the second floor balcony, looking down, just watching. Mostly servant types, like, judging by how they're dressed, but they all like definitely don't look like they're from around here. They're still dressed in styles from where they're from. Like, haven't seen an elf in a very long time. This is an honor, she says, and it's rather sarcastic.
The honor's all mine, my lady.
And she smiles. Like, it's not malicious exactly. It's rough to get her, like, what her intentions are, but she's bouncing back and forth. And if you would like to roll a 20 to see who gets to go first.
Oh, jeez.
Poopy.
So, she is going to dance a bit closer. And you are getting 2 whip cracks at you. And she is rolling poorly.
Both of those miss.
Yep, smack. And she then pulls the other one out. And she is starting to circle around. Like,
Ara looks
dancing on her toes.
She looks very unimpressed with all the footwork and is kind of just like not even moving her head to follow her. She goes, all right, and she's going to pull out the Moonbeam longsword, or short sword.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, let me pull up my sheet on it. Pop out.
Yeah, you could have taken the long sword at this point. Xanroar would have offered it back to you since he's not using it now.
All right, well, I want to do something with the short sword, but so it's fine. She's going to activate it so the spectral copy appears as a bonus action. And have it appear basically like right in front of her where she's dancing to kind of impose it between wherever she's about to move next.
Mm-hmm.
And she's gonna make it look like it's about to attack, and then it's just gonna quickly step in, and with the hidden blade that Xanroar gave, is gonna try to just jab into the center of her mass with the hidden blade on her.
Okay.
Like she's basically trying to distract her with the moonbeam.
Okay.
Uh,
It's not a friend technically, so it's not really gonna give you the advantage on it.
Nope, I wasn't trying to fish advantage. I was trying to be flashy.
Yes, you are being flashy. You are being very flashy.
I hope this works. Ooh, that's a bad roll.
You're making my stuff look crappy. Come on, man.
I'm sorry.
Xanroar is disappointed.
I love the thought that Xanroar did that using message. And it's just
It's like he knew.
You're making my stuff look bad.
Xanroar sneezes.
Okay. And you can technically take an attack with the spectral.
Yep, gonna do that now that I failed miserably.
Hold on.
I clicked the button, but nothing happened.
Give it a sec. Roll 20 seems to be on the slow side at the moment.
23 on my
That's
screen.
23 to hit.
Miss.
No, that hits. But you do see the same thing Dustin saw, like the hit connects, but it's like about an inch from actually touching her.
She takes 11, I think, radiant damage.
Yes.
Sword.
Nope, force damage for the short sword. It says.
Controlled by Aura. Save.
Yeah, longsword is 2d10 radiant.
Longsword and short sword, two different things.
Yeah, I have it put as short sword, but I accidentally put the description wrong. So I rolled right, but the description's
Okay.
wrong.
So it goes bang. She looks more than a little surprised at there being a fancy flying extra sword, and impressed. But she is going to bounce away and take the attack of opportunity. If you want to attempt to slayish.
Oh yeah.
You miss. She dances back and she's holding the two whips. One of them she snaps and it just from the handle it runs all the way down to the tip. It just sets on fire. And she's like, we're playing that game then. And she is only the first one of these is going to well the first one and the last one are the only ones that are going to have the fire. I'm just going to roll the same whip for all of them. 2, 3.
Yeah, she's gonna uncanny dodge the first one. Oh, just kidding. I can't. I use my reaction to smack her. Never mind.
So does the 16 hit?
Yeah, all 3 hit.
So whap, whap, and not fire for the second one. When you're getting hit, you're feeling the hits, you're feeling the pain as if you're getting hit, but you're technically not losing hit points because nothing is actually touching you. It is falling short the same as it's doing to her. Like you're feeling them. You know you're getting hurt, or would be getting hurt. The sensation is still transferring like it would be, but nothing's actually touching you, and you're not bleeding. You're not burned.
Very flashy.
Yes. And she's gonna hold her place and watch what you do.
All right. I'm gonna hope that I can make things happen. I'm gonna roll away and throw my dagger at her this time because it's being slow.
It's okay. I believe in you.
Roll 20.
If you have analog dice, I trust you there too.
I just rolled it there. 16.
16 does not hit.
And I'll use a bonus action for the moonbeam as well.
Mm-hmm. That does hit.
And that is force damage.
Yes. And like she does one of those, tries to back out of the way really quickly, but still takes the hit across her her middle from the spectral sword. And she's like, yeah, I'm seeing it, I'm getting it. And again, whack, whack, whack.
Ow.
So you are getting whipped, and you are feeling fires.
Yeah, I'm gonna uncanny dodge the first fire one.
Whip, whip. Second one, there's no fire. So how are you on technical hit points wise?
The second one would have put me out.
Okay, so she's gonna stop, and cause like you could, it's odd. Like you're not in like hurting, like you're not bleeding obviously, but you kind of get the feeling that this is it. Like like your body starts to feel heavy.
Yeah.
So she stands up straighter, and she flicks her whip out. She comes up and offers her hand. They're like, that was great. That's fancy. Haven't seen that before. And she
Thanks.
gestures to the throne. She'll offer her hand to shake, reaching
She'll
upwards.
kind of pull herself up to shake the hand and sheath the long sword and deactivate it, or the short sword and deactivate the thing.
It's like, and she'll wave you off. And Vizier is just like doing that little like really happy like, that was so amazing. That is a beautiful sword. Did you make that? Do you know who made that? I'm very curious.
I wish I did. It is. It came in a set of several.
And he'll just like make like he's going to try to get more information out of her. Like, where did you find it? Do you have the whole set?
In a cave underground somewhere, and I have half of it at current.
And, next would be Temperance.
Alrighty.
And okay. Does she ride the carpet or does she fly along beside him?
Oh no, she'll play the game. She'll be like, well, this is wow, flying, so neat and novel. The run's really nice to talk though.
He's like, I'm incredibly curious. This may sound a bit rude, but at first I thought you were
Best comments come after sentences that start like that.
Well, at first I from afar when I was approaching, I thought you were maybe a young Kenku. But I am very clearly wrong. I've just never seen of your sort before. Are you
Well, I mean, not really from around here, but I'm taking a guess that you aren't either. And she kind of gestures
No.
towards all the sand.
No, we're from up north. Just thought we should get a bit of a different view on life.
Yeah, well, the view from up here is, well, down here, up here. It's, how are you finding the area?
very different, I have to say. And he'll land the carpet. And same spiel. This is Lady Amani, Lord uh Lord Antar's personal bodyguard, and she will be judging your skills today.
Well, and she'll dismount and say, thank you for the conversation. Here's hoping we'll be getting to know each other a little bit better.
He's not stopped smiling since he showed up earlier. He just smiles and he'll give her a little bow. Good luck.
And she'll kind of walk forward into here, and
You're roughly the same size as each other.
what does she look like again? I'm so sorry.
She is a halfling. She is small. She has the same like dark skin, dark hair coloring of folk that come from the desert. You may have seen some around, like they do come this way, traveling like merchants and stuff and such. Um, so like you've seen what they look like, but they're not at all in abundance like in this area, and you would never have seen like what their architecture, what their like landscape and art and stuff looks like. But she does look like she's from that area, and she is dressed that way.
Okay.
Show the picture? No, I didn't. I'm dumb.
I was wondering this whole time. I'm sure there's a picture for this.
Yes. She is
Interesting.
halfling. She is small. She is feisty.
Does she? And she obviously has the whip clearly equipped, some like on her hip or something.
Yeah, she has 2 of them.
Okay. Alrighty.
One
Just
is
for personal curiosity, are the whips metal?
no.
All right.
All right. So upon sight, she is going to, kind of bow a little bit and kind of give her a glance, kind of slow her approach and stop right where she is and use insightful fighting to try and get a leg up on her enemy.
You see that isn't incapacity. Contested by a deception check.
So it's my insight versus your deception.
Okay. She's not trying to decept you. Like, she's just being herself.
Okay.
So you get it gives you sneak attack essentially, regardless.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
For lasts for a minute. Okay, I see. Nice.
Very useful for duels. I like that ability.
And she'll kind of, after she bows and lifts her head back up and says, "So, what is the deal here? Are we in a fight to the death kind of situation, or?"
Until I make my decision, you'll know.
Well, I hope you don't take any of this personally then. And she will brandish her she'll actually take out, like, I guess I just go first. We roll. What do you
Roll
want
a
me to roll?
d20.
Initiative?
Just roll a
Just a
d20.
flat d20?
That's how we're. Whoever rolls highest. D20. Rolling
Extra
the
initiative
dice.
bonus.
Go.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting that too. Rolling the dice. Roll the dice. Wow.
You get to go first.
Yay! Okay. So she will keep her distance for now, and she'll take out her short bow and take a shot.
Nope. She sidesteps.
It's cool. Temperance will drop her short sword and object interaction pull out.
Short bow.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, short bow. She'll drop her bow and take out her sword.
Sword.
And
is
will
a
move.
normal sword one of the magic swords?
It's just a short sword.
Okay.
I have fingers and hands. They're just covered in feathers.
No,
I don't think we have
you
hands.
don't. You do not at all.
Thought I
Everything
did.
you do is with your feet.
I have. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Oh my god.
So
That's why your
she
hidden
was
blade is on
flying.
your ankle.
Well, then I
Because
guess
you
I
have
don't
to
drop
fly.
it. Really, I just like unclench and move.
In the middle of a fight, Temperance learns she has no hands.
Yeah, that's weird.
Because
As
you're
she's concerned, they
designed
work like
to
fingies.
you're designed to fly always. You get benefits for flying in battle.
That's a good point. So I won't just move sideways. I will move. You know what? I didn't get a. Is it open, or is there a ceiling?
No ceiling. But there are people on a upper balcony gathering to watch.
Do they look like they have weapons?
No, they're
Okay.
house servants.
All right. Yeah, I will take to the air. I did not look up my flying, but I'm going to go look it up now. But yeah, I'm just gonna 10 feet up.
Okay. So you are 10
And-
feet up and
Right where I am, like here, just 10 feet up.
so she's going to start like she started with the others, one whip, and she is going to trot up this way, and she is going to whip up at you. If it'll whip. Come on. I should just use regular die. I'm not even seeing the rolling dice. So, rolling. She rolled a total of a 20 to hit you.
A total of a 20
Yes.
for my AC? Yeah, that hits.
So she is what she is also going to do, make a strength saving throw. Because she is going to attempt to wrap that around your ankle and pull you down out of the sky. Which is technically a trip attack, but I guess when you're in the flying, it's falling. And that is oh, it rolled. Look at that.
13's not bad considering she has
No.
+0.
Let me roll for her real quick. 10, 11, 12. If it meets, it beats. You take technically two more, 2 plus, hold on. I have to find my actual dice because I don't trust this thing right now. It'll be a total of 9 damage. You do the whip does wrap around your ankle, and you are pulled down, but you're not like the others. Like you feel the pain of getting hit, but you're technically physically not damaged.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So like you feel the pain, you got whipped across the ankle, you got dropped to the floor for another 2 points of damage, but you're not damaged, quote unquote. So, just like, stay down here. Flap. And she will end her turn there.
Okay. Temperance is going to actually sheath her short sword, come back down, pick up her bow. I am going to bonus action disengage and action dash and get over here. Which leaves me. Yeah, and she'll get. I think I have. Like 15 feet left between getting from here to back up in the air and over here.
Mm-hmm.
So she's over here and 15 feet up with her bow.
Okay.
And that's all the things I can do this turn. And she just is. She's like almost got me there.
So she's pondering a bit, watching you, and she is going to let me measure. Whoops. I know what the tools are by now. Okay. She is going to dash up this way. And she's going to pull her other whip, and she'll snap the other one so it blazes up on fire. But she's just grinning up at you. Because that's about is where, like, her 6 seconds end. She runs, gets everything ready. She looks like she's ready to, like, leap up at you. But that's where she gets to.
Okay. All right. Just have to read a thing. Hold on. Okay, cool. Yeah. Temperance is going to move up another 5 feet and over here. And she's going to take a thing out of her bag that I have been saving and wanting to use. And she's going to say, Flibberty-gibbet. And she's going to expend 1 charge of the Gem of Brightness. In an attempt, fire a brilliant beam of light at a creature that you can see within 60 feet. In an attempt to blind you for 1 minute. It's a DC 15 Constitution save that you can repeat at the end of each of your turns.
Well, she kind of like she's got 1 foot on, like, this is a water trough. She's got 1 foot up on that and is like she's like ready to leap up after you, but she kind of fumbles a bit. It's like blinking her eyes, like, well, shit.
And Temperance will fly back and up another 5 feet, both up and back, and say, "We can end this now. Just say that I've impressed you."
I wouldn't call it impressing. Effective, but I wouldn't call it impressing.
Your move, then.
She thinks a minute. And she is going to kind of like wander blindedly in this direction, and the flames go out on her whip, and she'll say, "I'll call it here." She's kind of like yelling out in the direction of Riyadh down in there, and she kind of waves up towards, like, Temperance, like where the flapping is. She's like, "I'd shake your hand, but you don't got any."
She if she's basically getting the gist that she's calling it off, she'll come down and try and shake foot. She.
That's how it works.
Yeah. She'll wipe it off. Courtesy. I'm in sand.
And so we'll let you know.
And she'll say thank you and bow and then kind of get up and realize that was pointless. And get back on the carpet.
Mm-hmm. And you will be flown back. So that was very different.
I hear that a lot about most of the things that.
Well, where we come from, there generally aren't people who fly.
Generally aren't what?
People who fly. There
Well,
is some
I-
magic
Oh.
that does it, but there aren't people that can do it because they can.
Well, where I'm from, you are taught from an early age to use every advantage you're given, and I plan to do so. Both, and she'll be like, I protect those that I'm in the, blah 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 blah. She's basically trying to talk up the fact that I protect people with flight somehow. She's bad at this. She's like, that was my only trick.
It's like, between you and me, I thought it was very impressive.
Well, thank you. I quite enjoy this little rug you have here. It's kind of fun flying and not having to work for it.
He'll laugh at that. Oh, it's one of my prized possessions, and he pats it, almost like a pet.
Well, here's hoping that, should I happen to win the contest here, that you and I will, become fast friends. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
You are very welcome, he says, as he, he lands back down. So, for the sake of things, 'cause I'm curious, what has the rest of you guys been up to before and after your current? Because this does take a little bit of time going back and forth. There are other people besides you guys, so there are points where you're just going to be sitting and having time.
I think me and the Dragonborn are like having a staring contest right now, just kind of from a distance away, just kind of grumbling at each other.
Snort. Yes.
Rumble.
Dustin
Leaf.
feels really bad for hitting the person hard.
Leaf has been probably like stretching out a little bit, and then getting really easily distracted by like rocks.
And your spell is Skippy's spell is going to run out soon.
Oh heck.
And you do, like, every so often, Vizier Riyadh will, like, as new people come, he'll take the new list and he'll repeat the spiel. You're gonna have a test of skill. One person from each day will be chosen to have an interview with the Lord of the Manor, essentially. So, you'll get grumbles from everybody else showing up, which again aren't terribly many, but there are more days.
So if we don't get in this time, we can get in another.
You're, do you ask?
Sure.
He's like, oh no, you get one shot. If you come back another day, we will have to turn you away, unfortunately.
He's just kind of looking around and eyes the Dragonborn. I feel like there's going to be a competition between the winners of all three. I'll see you at the end of that. And Xanroar's just going to kind of walk off. He'll try his luck tomorrow.
Skippy.
Since Xanroar left, does that mean me and Leaf are up?
If you guys still want to go, but your spell's gonna die very shortly.
Would I be able to get into the house before that?
If we left right now.
If you left right now, yes, but it won't last long.
All right, all I need to do, because I like thinking of, as soon as we start the fight, it's gonna be outed that I'm not just a normal owl, anyways. And I think me and Leaf, I mean, depending on what you want to do, but I think we can sell ourselves pretty well.
I also think we can, but if this is the only time that we can do this, and if the others who just went don't get in, and this is their only chance, I feel like that we should probably wait. That's my only thing.
Right,
There's
I'm your
other
pet
people-
owl
I
right
mean,
now.
like,
So.
I know that. So, like, I would say probably, yeah, I guess Leaf would also start kind of walking out, because, like, if there's, like, this off chance that they don't, get in, because I can definitely, Leaf has a chance of selling herself, yeah, I guess I don't want us to all be kind of, like, shit out of luck, I suppose.
All right. Then as we're leaving, I'm gonna like do that thing that owls do with their neck and look at the Dragonborn and just go, "Whoop," and like squint my eyes at him.
Sorry, he's a bit feisty, sorry.
He breathes out, and a big stream of black smoke heads in Skippy's direction. Poof.
Skippy would probably be a little intimidated, but he's like not gonna like break eye contact until like he has to essentially.
So you're all regrouping?
Yeah, I'm leaving to regroup.
Yeah, I'm leaving because to increase our odds, if not fighting each other out. The position.
After like 15 or 20 minutes of waiting, after Dustin was finished, he would have started walking back, cracking his knuckles, and just stretching his back. But leaving alone, not with anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Also, before I leave, can I take a look at that Dragonborn?
For what?
When I was in Mnemoneris,
Mm-hmm.
with Skippy, and I know there's a lot of Dragonborn. The nobility is mostly Dragonborn. Do I recognize him?
Roll a perception.
Okay. Nope.
He is personally nobody that you know or know of,
Okay.
but the thing you cannot miss is the fact that he does not have a tail, which means that he is not related to someone of the noble bloodline.
Okay.
Like, he could be, but because he doesn't have a tail, he would not hold, like, a title.
Oh, okay. Cool. All right. Cool. Is the tower still up?
It's probably getting close to not being up.
I did try I did put it up in chat. I'm not sure if I got back
Yeah,
in time, but
yeah, you definitely like you're probably closer to like 1-ish at this point. A little later. So you have time to refresh. And Mara and Malik and Iggy are still there.
Is it a tense air or is it?
No, like they're there, they're fine, and when you start trailing back, Mara hops up. She's like, "How is it?"
Good. I got to fight somebody, but it was real strange.
Did you get the job?
We're not sure. We have to wait until another interview. I don't personally know very much, but it went. Malik, you would have liked it a lot.
What happened?
You had to. It was basically a test of strength. You had to go fight this person, and whenever she felt that you were worthy, quote unquote, she'd stop it, and it would be done. But she uses a whip, and it was fire. Well, no, she didn't. It didn't catch on fire for me, but I didn't get hit by the whip. I sort of hit her enough times that she stopped it after the first round. But it looked like it could have done some major damage if I got hit by it. So thankful for that.
She stopped it.
Yeah, after the first round. But yeah, it is what it is. I just want to make sure that everyone else is alright, because she was quick.
Where's everyone else?
Xanroar would probably be coming back about now.
Yeah, so would Ara.
Same.
Well, I guess there's everybody else.
I was just walking at the same time.
Temperance is gonna try and hang out there as long as possible, like just keeping an eye on the competition and not. But she would kind of not want to be seen. Like after everybody's dismissed or whatever, she'll try and be stealthy and just what's going on.
Sneakaways. Okay.
Yeah, only not attract the scorpions.
This
So
time.
you were trying to go into by the house?
Just I assume that it was like Willy Wonka style, like everybody stood outside the gates and
Yes,
then they let you in the gates.
He flew you over the gates. You
Yeah.
were going. The gates never opened.
Yeah, I'm not trying to go in or anything. I'm just hovering around, but once everybody else from the competition started to leave, Temperance would kind of be like, "Oh yeah, it is time to go." And then like walk around the corner and like, "Hmm?"
So is there anything in particular like you're looking for?
I'm looking to see if I can see that person that we like tested with or the vizier and see if they're doing anything at all. I'm looking out for them. If I don't see them after like an hour or two.
No, from the angle you are. If you look on the map, the house is facing, like you could see where the sand part is. This is not obviously like an accurate representation, but like technically the battles went on over here. So it's
Okay.
like behind. You would have had to have done some traveling around to attempt to see them. But after the last fight of the day, you don't really see them at all anymore. And
Okay.
the scorpions start spreading out a bit more over the grounds again.
Okay. Temperance will try and before she leaves, she'll try and throw like a small piece of jerky or something that she had in her pack at the scorpions and see if they go for it. They're like, "What do I feed you? Biscuits? Jerky? What do you eat?" And see if that works. And then she'll leave after she finds out.
I have no idea what scorpions eat.
I don't know either. Death and destruction, poison.
I mean, normal scorpions are like eat like bugs and shit, so maybe
Yeah,
because they're big like birds.
Oh, yeah. She's gonna skip over that part of the book.
Insect spiders and lizards, small mammals. So like meat would draw their attention.
Cool.
But it's jerky and they're large, so it's not a whole lot of amazing for the one that kind of just comes over and is like, but Yes. You've completed the first round. How do you feel?
Confused.
I feel.
What was that?
Oh, sorry, my Discord tweaked out. I said I feel like I should be on fire right now, but I'm not, and that was the most jarring experience.
Yes, you um like you were not hurt. Like you don't feel like you're hurt, but you have the memory of sudden burning pain and being whipped with these whips are not small. Like these are not fun time whips. These are like taking your skin off your body whips. You know, so like that would have hurt should you have been hit by them, for real. But
What fire?
Wait, she didn't bust out the flaming BDSM toys on you?
Yeah, I just got the "these aren't fun time whips" statement.
No, she
Oh, so slow.
there wasn't she took out the whip, but it kind of ended after I hit her first. So I don't know. There was fire?
Oh yes, they felt like it should have burnt, but I mean, maybe you took her down faster than she could get him out. I was very, I was off balance and didn't put on the best of.
I feel really bad. I hit her really hard. I hope she's alright.
Oh, she hit you back. Don't feel bad.
She didn't hit me back. I don't know.
What?
She didn't hit me back.
I was gonna look to Xanroar like, what?
Don't ask me. I haven't fought her yet.
Oh, that's right.
I'm more curious about what kind of gear she had. Like, does she have these whips? What was the material?
Leather.
And what kind of armor?
It wasn't a lot of armor. Well, it wasn't heavy armor, like you were wearing. She was able to move, and she was able to move fast. So maybe some kind of leather. I'm not 100% sure what kind.
Studded? Any metal on it?
Barely. Maybe some.
She was quite flashy with her movements.
Alright, that spells out. Alright, I think I have my battle strategy then for whenever I face her.
She's quick, but she leaves openings.
Seems like you're getting more prepared to fight the Dragonborn than her.
Perhaps.
I pay good money to see that.
Indeed.
Well. So Temperance, where is Temperance?
Temperance is back. I mean, she was probably just about half an hour behind you guys.
How'd it go for you, love?
It went well. She, the carpet man was very interesting, and, she was okay. I mean, she didn't speak much. She really just waited for a moment of being impressed, and like you both have repeated, she had whips and was quick on her feet. Not much armor, short stature, but she's clearly been in combat a few times before.
I have suspicions about that Vizier. I don't like.
Yeah, he's definitely got things to hide, I'm sure, but he's willing to keep up the pretenses of happiness. There's no reason for him to be on the bad side of things. He wasn't the one we were supposed to fight, I don't think, unless they're... And then she starts getting in her own head, unless that was the real contest.
I felt like there was another layer we were missing, but I didn't really indulge the thought for very long.
I mean, we also looked like we were part of a show of sorts, and she'll talk about how she flew up into the air and, you know, noticed the audience in the balconies and whatnot were watching.
Yes, they were there for me as well. But...
Skippy's gonna like listen intently to that, be like, show, and he's gonna like scratch his chin like he's thinking.
Something on your mind?
Maybe she can't perform without an audience. Oh.
No, Skippy's like, oh no, I'm just thinking about how I'm gonna win the competition.
Temperance, hearing the squeak that she doesn't like in Skippy's voice, will be like, "Yeah, I didn't see any weapons on the audience, but you never know. I wasn't in there very long, so they could very well all have bows and be added into, the group." And she just kind of is side-eyeing Skippy, like, "Don't be careful. Don't trust anything when you're in there." And she'll say that out loud to Xanroar.
The architecture was way too well crafted.
Really?
Yeah.
They have money, it is clear, but they're not. Something is definitely amiss, and there is information being left out. I hope that one of us is able to make it on to the next round, or past at least the first initial thing, to find out more information, because they definitely got my attention.
Was there magic?
She had flaming whips, so past that, no.
Okay.
One flaming whip.
Right, one flaming whip.
I'm gonna just kind of look over to Leaf. So there's 3 days of this, and we're done day 1. Do you want to go tomorrow, or do you want to go the day after? Just so we can split up who goes when.
I will go whenever you don't want to go. So if you would like to go tomorrow, that's totally chill with me.
I'll go on the last day. You seemed pretty ready to go, and so did Skippy.
Skippy is going to go to Xanroar and ask if he could craft something.
What do you need?
Well, I was wondering if you had a mask that could make me look more like an owl, so I don't have to waste spells before I go in.
Yeah, then he can look like a normal 3-foot owl.
Hey,
I'm just.
I googled it. That is perfectly normal for some owls in other parts of the nation.
I believe that.
I'm just gonna kind of look at Skippy. I don't exactly make stuff like that. It would be made of metal of some sort. It would not be the best for disguising. That would be more her specialty. And he's just gonna thumb over to Ara.
Skippy's gonna look over at Ara and like hop up to her and be seeing her still in her fancy clothes, right?
Yes.
Skippy would be like, are you able to make me a mask, my lady?
You want a mask? Just to. Do you want to look like a person?
No, I want to look more like an owl.
I mean, I could make you a mask that has an owl painted on it, but it'll be fairly obvious that you're wearing a mask. Well, actually, maybe not, but I can certainly try, my friend. Do you want a mask?
Yes, and like he's gonna like smile like really deeply. I can help.
Let me look what's in my kit, because I don't know what's in my disguise kit.
I'm good at drawing.
Oh, whoops. Sorry, did not mean to press that.
Where's the disguise kit? It just says hair dye and small props, so I don't know if I can make a mask out of that.
Small prop could be bird beak.
DM, could I make some sort of bird mask?
You could if you took the time to find feathers, like actual feathers, or use some of Skippy's feathers from some other part of his body. It's possible. Like, you could still roll like a disguise check. But like you would need components for owl mask, and then how well you make owl mask.
Is there a Fletcher in town?
Before you make it, let Xanroar lets you know. Let me know if you need a hand. I can cast something to give you a bit of an edge while working with it.
Oh, wonderful. I'll tell you what, bird friend. You're going tomorrow.
Yes.
Well, let's take a sally into town. See if we can't find some, like, paper mache and some feathers I might need. And we'll come back and try it tonight. All right.
Okay, but I'm pretty sure her name's Sarah. And then Skippy's gonna turn to Sarah and be like, Sarah, we're going into town.
What?
Sarah's just.
I-
Wait, what? I
Totally
thought we were
lost.
leaving soon.
Sally, no, we'll go for a walk into town.
Oh,
We're going for a walk.
okay.
Tara's just rubbing her eyes and just kind of pulls up her mask.
I'm actually dying here.
You threw me off as a human. I'm like, what?
Like
means I'm
Iggy's listening to this. He's like, I'm wondering if I can make a potion for that. And then you get an Iggy no from both of his siblings.
Does Skippy hear that?
Probably, yeah.
Iggy or Skippy's gonna walk up to Iggy and be like, I have so many ideas for potions. And he's
Tell
gonna like
me
start
all of
naming
them. He's like, tell me all of them.
So he's gonna be like, all right, first off, plant growth. Okay? Just grows plants. But this is a potion. Well, I'll get back to that in a second.
So do you
So-
give it to plants to grow, or do you drink it and grow plants out of your body?
Both. Okay, so this is the
Dear
thing.
God.
If you pour it on a plant or in an unoccupied area of ground, it'll grow. But if someone ingests it, then they have about 1 day to find a way to remove it, or a tree grows in them. All right, next, hair removal. It's pretty self-explanatory. It removes all hair from body. Hair growth grows hair all over the body.
Somebody stop Skippy. Somebody.
Someone, please.
You're there,
I'd like to hear
Ara.
more about the hair growth one.
Come on, we're going to town.
He's gonna pull out, like, I assume Ara just like picks up Skippy and
Yep.
starts walking away. And like as he's going away, he's gonna start shouting like, potion of polywog transformation. This has nothing like actually useful. I just like the name polywog.
And we're out the door.
And yeah, Mara and Malik will pretty much do the same to Iggy. Just like, come on, we have to go get our carriage, get our things, get our druid.
I feel like Iggy and Skippy would be essentially mad scientists, but like with no malicious intent. Just think something sounds cool, so they make it.
That's the start of mad scientists.
We could open a shop of useless things.
Oh my gosh, I have an idea for the detective agency, guys.
No.
Nope.
Take him down, please.
Hey, Temperance.
Yes.
No, actually, maybe not, because you already were talking to him. I apologize.
Okay.
Aura. Could you
Ara's
come-
down the street with
Fuck,
Skippy.
you're right. Who's left? Xanroar?
Who's next on the list?
This is the list of importance for Dustin.
Okay. Temperance, Ara, who's that? Who's next?
All right, Xanroar.
Sorry, Leaf.
You
Fine.
don't know, yeah. Sorry.
I'm just here to talk to. No, I'm just here to talk to boulders. I don't need to fucking talk to you. I have my rocks.
Leave.
Shame, Dustin. Shame.
Oh,
My abs hurt right now.
Uh,
yeah.
I love
Xanroar, could you
D&D.
come to me for something?
he's kind of looks up from his table because he looks like he's going back to work. He's like, "What?"
I know you're about to do something. I apologize, but I need a test. I need to see something. I need to see a theory. I'm not sure if I'm going to be right or not, but someone here with me so it doesn't look suspicious.
Fine.
Leave. You want to get drunk?
Reluctantly at the table.
Yeah. Yes.
All right.
Wow,
Yes,
he
I,
knows her
I already
already.
have a drink.
If you want to come and get more drinks, welcomed.
Yes.
Did you steal my ticket of plenty? He's looking over at
Actually-
Leaf.
No, I didn't. But what I keep forgetting about, because you brought it up again, I have this weird jug that I've been carrying around with me, and I have no idea what it is.
Drink
I'll
it,
figure it
you.
out for you. Pass it over.
Yeah, my uncle gave it to me, and he said that it would come in handy when I really needed it, and I had no idea what that meant.
Man, I really need a drink right now.
This sandwich could really use some mayonnaise.
He'll cast Identify to figure out what this thing is. As we're walking, following Dustin.
Dustin's gonna head to the bar, or the tavern that we're in.
It's a jug of alchemy. If you need anything, it'll make it for you. Liquid-wise.
Like anything?
Liquid-wise, once per day.
Okay. Okay. I can. Yeah. Excellent. My uncle. Excellent. Oh, he really came in clutch, didn't he? Woo!
Man, I have an idea for that.
Dustin is going to try to make small talk, just party conversations. When he gets in the tavern, are the two people still sitting there?
Many days later? Well, a day later? Nope.
He is going to go up to the tavern owner. It's the lady, correct?
Well, she's the bartender.
Or the bartender, I apologize. Hi, I came in yesterday, but I have a question for you, if you don't mind, if that's okay.
Everybody else does. Sure, why not?
All right. Those two that were sitting at the bar yesterday, I don't know if you remember. Did you?
There were so many people.
Oh, I apologize. Buff guy with blonde hair and the other smaller dude.
Maybe. Sure.
Did they say where they were going? I'm not gonna. It's not for any bad meaning, but I think I might know them, and I need to find out some more information.
Why would I know this?
I don't know. I know people talk to bartenders.
Not as much as people seem to think.
Damn. Right. Well, if I could, and he's gonna take out 5 gold. Can I get shots, please?
Whoa!
Dustin does not know money.
Dustin,
5 gold.
I'm gonna just kind of pull him aside for a second.
5 gold!
This is how money works. And
10
he's
gold.
gonna explain basic
Dustin's gonna start
economics.
taking up more money.
Nope. That not
Yeah.
how much. He's just gonna turn to her. How much for 3 shots?
Not 5 gold. Not 1 gold. And,
Two.
Then we'll have 5 gold worth of shots.
I have this pebble.
it's not even shiny.
I'm already looking after Skippy's money. Do you need me to watch yours as well?
No, I'm good.
Oh,
Dustin
what the
says,
hell?
slowly slipping it back into his pouch.
And he'll just how much for the 3 shots?
And say like 6 silver.
Dustin will start
There you
taking
go,
out gold
Dustin.
and then remember.
Nope. You can put down 1
Sorry.
and ask for change.
Okay. And then after the shots are brought, he is going to walk over to where they were sitting and see if they left anything, if there's any markings the guy writ on the table with like a dagger or anything.
There are people sitting there.
Oh, okay.
This is a tavern.
Excuse me, sorry. Sorry.
So they kind of just recently off the road, grizzled looking dudes, and they just like pause partially of the way with food up to their mouth and just kind of look at you as you approach the table.
I'm just gonna take the shot. I'm gonna be like, "You guys want shots?"
Who are you?
My name's Dustin. Do you want shots?
I think you're missing the point here, fellas.
Why?
Because I feel generous. Is there a reason why I have to do anything?
Usually.
Fair. But do you want shots?
Sure.
Cool. He's gonna buy them a round of shots.
Translation: Get this idiot out of my face.
If
And
you drink your
we'll-
booze, will you go away?
And then we'll just hand them all to them, take a shot himself, and be like, "All right, bye now." And when I was giving them the shots, nothing on the table.
Roll a perception.
Okay. Uh, 13.
Nope. There's plates and foods and bits from their eating and nothing that stands out.
Okay, and he's gonna walk back and say, "I'm sorry, guys. I took you here for nothing then. They might have still been here. I didn't mean to take you from your work. I'm sorry, Xanroar."
It's fine. And he's just going to start lumbering back out.
What about you, Leaf? You alright?
Thanks for the drink.
Yep.
Sarah would have slipped his drink over to Leaf.
And
And she would have happily taken it before Dustin saw.
Dustin will slowly just slide over one gold to the bartender before they leave, before anybody sees, and just walk out.
Oh, Dustin. You're the
She
cinnamon
looks
roll of this game.
so confused.
that tracks.
That tracks.
So what's everybody else doing? My face is red.
It is it is almost 11. Is there any preparations for next week you guys want to do? Do you want to do that next week? We're winding down.
Xanroar's just going to go back to work on his enchantment and hopefully figure out from that. What did I roll earlier? I think it was really good. I think it was
17 plus
21. Yeah,
Yes.
on my enchantment working.
Is going well.
And he was going to continue working on it afterward.
Yes. All good.
And give a copy of the schematic for his new thing to Iggy, since he knows it works now.
Aura and Skippy can find like plaster and feathers next
Yeah,
time.
you could you could find those things. The problem would be finding matching feathers,
Yeah, I imagine.
but you can find some feathers either from like Fletcher or pillows.
Well, so here's the thing: is what if we made it like? Have you guys seen the Golden Compass?
Yes.
You know how the bears have armor, where like
Yes.
it doesn't like need to look like actual bird. It could just be look like I'm a normal owl wearing face armor.
One question, Skippy.
Yes.
If you're not pretending to be an owl with magic, are you just going to show up naked in a mask?
What
mask.
what is Skippy wearing anyways?
Dangling in the
He's
wind.
currently wearing his cloak.
I like to think we are walking there and Skippy's trying to explain what he wants, and you've like backtracked twice now, and she's like, what?
Well, yeah, no. Right now, I'm wearing a cloak of protection, and probably my wizard's hat. Because
Clothing.
it's the height of fashion.
I've actually been wondering this for the longest time. Like, Skippy and Temperance, are they like fully clothed, or are they just
Of course,
feathered?
we're not animals.
Oh my god.
She has definitely been wearing like capey, drapey stuff.
I always imagine her in a suit.
Ooh.
Nothing like a rogue in a tux.
Yeah. Nothing says stealth like formal dress wear.
Yeah, because what if you get caught? You gotta look like you're just going to somewhere fancy.
No, you don't understand, Kate. The last resort for rogues is always stab.
Oh no, I understand. Most of my campaigns I've played, I've always played a rogue. Almost.
I'm currently playing a rogue, and my first resort is fire all the time. It's
I have
like,
another-
how are we gonna break into this house? Burn it!
I have another character for that, and his last name
It
is
remind me
Firestar.
of a certain character named Johnny Nova.
This was a fun session. I liked this.
This
a lot.
was that was quite interesting.
But,
Lots of laughs.
yeah.
Whenever Skippy speaks, I'm like, oh, my abs. They're going to be imploding more.
I like what
yes,
R
like-
said.
Skippy and Temperance can get away with not wearing clothes because they're feathery, but they like the Gwaihir do wear clothing. It's just usually like sleeveless because wings. Because like you could wear armor like and such, and Temperance has armor. So because
yeah.
Toga, Toga.
So I always imagine Skippy is literally just wearing like his magician's cape, which would be the cloak of protection, like he just wears it as a cape, and then his wizard hat, and now his wand holster and fake wand.
okay, I am going to end the stream here.
Good night, everybody.
Goodbye, stream.
Goodbye,
Goodbye,
stream.
world.
Forever.
Good night, internet. We love you.